WBGX RV Chicago.
Uh-oh, ghetto bird.
AM 1570 WBGX RV Chicago.
Can we turn off Ruthie's headphones? Can we turn off Ruthie's headphones? Ruthie's. Off. Ruthie's. What? Uh-huh. Todd, take a look at this. It's in reverse order, but take a look at it.
A lot of black folks. It seems like there's a lot of blacks in it. Or is it spread out? Well, there are a lot of
No, ours is
spread out.
geographic. Theirs is, we sit on land, they sit in towers. You think about their blocks are vertical.
Oh yeah, that South Loop is all vertical.
Shoot, not just South Loop. If you think about it.
I don't go anywhere else. South Loop at home. Top. Yeah, that. Wow, 8 times. That's a lot.
Find you there, the WIIFTBP. What's that?
What's in it for the black people? You know, we see a lot of people coming in, they say people of color, the community, they got all these code words, and then at the end of it, black people wind up with nothing. So we've decided that we're going to take on the mantra, before anybody takes a selfie, before anybody smiles at a politician, they got to answer the question, what's in it for the black people, before they get our vote.
Asked, find you there, the WIIFTBP. What's that?
What's in it for the black people? You know, we see a lot of people coming in, they say people of color, the community, they got all these code words, and then at the end of it, black people wind up with nothing. So we've decided that we're going to take on the mantra, before anybody takes a selfie, before anybody smiles at a politician, they got to answer the question, what's in it for the black people, before they get our vote.
Times love to share. So good. Miles on me. Forever.
All right. Y'all having too much fun. It's time to get this plane on the road, man. Y'all, we done lost it. Y'all done fucking. They done went crazy on me, y'all. Let's get this soul plane up, rocking and rolling.
To sharing, oh, feels good.
They really not listening to me, y'all. They loving the song. Let's get this thing off the ground. You know what I'm talking about? Let's get it cracking.
For black people in the world.
Looking at this generation. They will all know us. Don't let no one put you down.
Black. It's okay to be black. Okay to be black. Rise up.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Hey, y'all, you know what? My girl, Ruthie Moore, is out today. So I'm going to go ahead and say what's up to Miss Sonia Escobar. Y'all, check it out. We are doing our thing. How y'all feeling this morning? Y'all all right? You all right, Todd, you was singing earlier. Now you now you want to read, huh? You know what, y'all? I'm going to tell y'all. Todd... you know what? We started this thing out. Let me tell you. We started when we get this thing. You was here at like 5:05. then 5:15. Then later on it was 5:30. 5:45. Sonia looked at the internet this morning like Todd was up posting an hour ago and he is not in the building. And then the clock gets 6 o'clock and it's like click click click. There he is right there.
I got the police following me. The feds are here. Be careful.
The federales. All right, y'all. That's my co-host Todd Stroger, cool as a cucumber, coming in like, you know what? I got this. You sit down. You know what, Todd? Mm-hmm. Todd is like, you know how I be like one day when I'm famous? Todd be walking in here like, Todd is settled into his space. You know, when you was the president, you came in and everything was ready for you.
It was.
And you sat down, they printed in large print for you, so you didn't have to squint and everything. And it's like, Todd is settling right back into his seat as the county board president, right here in his seat in what? Always a president.
I just know you're a efficient maze, and I don't have to really worry about working.
All right, y'all. Look, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. You know, when your name is on the door, you got to do the work, right? That's right. You got to do the work. But I'm going to tell you what, I could not do this work without the team, because teamwork makes the dream work. So let me do this. Let me say what's up to the rest of our team. You know what? Sitting in for Ruthie Moore today, let me tell y'all, he sat in a chair. He almost is like Minister Mays, right? Right, he go to Facebook Live, and I don't even know if he's got a name. It's just like, you know, we don't even know if we're gonna have to name the lion, because he's gonna have a segment of his own. He gonna say the things that, you know how Mays said, get in trouble. He gonna talk. All right, y'all. That voice you heard in the background is Miss Sonia Escobar, which means we are all locked and loaded. Let's do this. Let's get this thing up to 60,000 feet. Let's get it up and away. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, co-host Todd Stroger. Todd.
Yes.
Cut the music. I want to take a moment. You know, I know that in our world that we live in today, we're not supposed to how do I put this? I know that people say that the police are the enemy a lot of times, but the death of Deputy Chief, former commander, area commander Dion Boyd, committed suicide apparently at the Homan Square secret facility. You know how we were fight. Let me stop. I'll move back to that. Suicide in the police department seems to be way more common than you thought. But then, what I am hearing and reading in the county in the update is that black suicides are up. Right now in August, we've already surpassed or equaled all of last year.
Wow.
And we were on a steady decline for the last 9 years, and now we're on the way back up. But you gotta think, this guy was like deputy chief, third. He was like, it was like 3 or 4. He could have been tapped to go up any next level.
Yeah.
And just for the tickles and giggles, I introduced our audience to Dion Boyd right post the uprising, because he was the commander whose email we got that told about the mayor suggesting that there be no arrests. Right. For those of you that shaded me, that's the same email that I posted a while back and everybody was tripping on. But I want to make sure that we pay attention that this stuff is not just affecting the protesters and the people. Mental health is a real thing, and
it is.
Pressure will bust pipes. So I want to send my condolences out to the family of Dion Boyd, as well as his fellow officers, and all the other people. Hey man, that stuff plays out in real time. Some of the things that cops see, Joe, and if you head of the criminal, he was the head of the criminal organization thing, so he was looking at the gangs and everything. Oh well, you don't say gangs, organizations. Anyway, So he also was the commander at 54th and Wentworth, which was also the location that was right next door to the 55th and 51st and Wentworth, which was right next door to the home of the infamous parking lot looting of the last economic development project in Harold Washington's history. All right, so just I wanted to make sure we brought some information, brought some light to that. Did you see the suburbs said, no, thank you. We're not taking. We're going to reconsider putting our kids in school. I think, Todd, there's going to be. How long do you think before CPS says everybody's staying home?
I think it's coming, and I think it's going to come pretty soon. I mean, we are trying to get back to normal, but you know, you can't force it. I mean, you can force it, but
if it don't fit, don't force it. Ain't
right.
That a song?
That's a song.
Oh, like a glove. If it don't fit, don't force it. Did you cough?
That was yeah.
Was it like a real cough, or was it like a?
No, that was my dry mouth cough.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Give me the spray. Give me the spray. Give me the spray. I'm gonna get that on break. Look, yeah, man. It's. I think it's coming back. JB says till 2021 we're not getting back to normal. We're gonna circle back to that because.
Oh, I think he's right. Even with this fast-paced vaccine that they think may actually work.
I am concerned about. It ain't gonna be nothing left on Netflix, man.
That should concern you, even though whenever I think I'm down and out, I discover something new.
You know what? We discovered Parks and Recreation.
Oh, unfortunately, I discovered that about 3 years ago, and I zoomed through all those.
Oh, you know what? It's another good one. What's her name? Jones always play like this ambiguous character, Rashida Jones.
Oh yes.
She only got black as a black AF.
ATF, whatever that is.
What?
Is that the show you're talking about? AF.
Oh, Black AF.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, but you ain't never been Black AF. Anyway, it's all good.
No, she is one of those characters who has played all kind of people.
Right.
No one can really figure it out, so they just put her in every role.
That's the luxury of that. Let me stop. I'm gonna let that go. That's true. Right. By the way.
No, that's being a good actress.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, once you got there.
Right. All right. But by the way, on my Quincy Jones is my dad. Okay, I'll take that shot. You'll get that. All right.
You know, she's not young anymore.
No, she's not. She was dating. She was Tupac's. You know, she was the one waiting in the hotel room when Tupac got shot, assassinated. Oh, I forgot. Chris Rock said, that man get assassinated. Hey, you got shot.
That's exactly right.
All right, look, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Todd Stroger. We got my girl, Sonia Escobar. Plus, we have not named the lion in the seat. Maybe we ought to have a contest for that, too. All right, look. This is the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after a little bit of traffic guessing. Hey, y'all, it's traffic out there. Okay, I'm going to tell y'all. No, really, it's traffic out there. It's traffic. All right, look, I'm a master this traffic thing. I think.
Yeah, I took the drive today because yesterday the Ryan got a little ugly.
Were they shooting?
No, it was just. I think it's starting to become a natural flow where it's getting a little crazier than it was before. I mean, just stop and go.
Well, if you left at the proper. Well, let me stop. Hey, y'all, we'll talk about it more when we come back. Did we get the soul plane up in the air? All right, we've been flying for a while. All right, we'll be back.
A little bit of Monica in my line.
And you can tell them May said, we want
What
to
did
know
May say?
what's in it for the black people.
Oh.
How about that? You know we got Rick Party. I need to swap our voice out from Al Greer. How crazy is it that Al is the voice of both stations? Not crazy at all.
No. Once I found out, what was his name? Wally Muhammad was like everywhere and syndicated. I thought it was just a Chicago thing. And I went to New Orleans. I was like, hey, I know that voice.
No. That's different though. A show and the voice of the station. Al's the big voice of both.
Yeah, he's the big voice. That's true.
I got Rick Party has cut all of our stuff though.
I've heard of Rick Party, but
Rick Party is the voice of BET.
Oh.
All the big fights. Al Heyman uses them for all his stuff too.
Burn.
You're on camera.
And a handsome lad I am.
Not you. Sonia. Hey y'all, Todd had a whole, I'll tell him when he come back, you had a whole soliloquy yesterday. And I pushed the button.
Oh, you mean, oh, yeah. Oh, my Lord. Kisses from you is never too much. Wanna stop on my love. Your arms is never too much, never too much. Burn, burn, burn. A bit. I was broken hearted. Mending. See? If you were standing. So for another dollar, ring and holler. The beginning.
For black people in the world.
You are listening to 1570 AM WBGX. I am your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd, Stroger, plus Miss Sonia Escobar is in the building. Hey, y'all, let me say this. If you are looking for us, you can watch us on Facebook Live. It's the reality show we call the Maze Jackson Show, as well as YouTube Live. So for you YouTubers, but I'm going to tell you, the real conversation goes on Facebook Live. Now, you can also listen to us in the car. If you're in the car and you're trying to figure out how can you listen to us, go to 1570 on your AM dial, or let me also let you know you can also get the TuneIn app. Go to the App Store or Google Play Store, download TuneIn, click the X, get out of that paid stuff, and just download the app and put in 1570 AM. All right, y'all, I'm your host, man, and I want to finish up the time. We got to get a couple more headlines in before we move on to the social media question of the day. What I do want to do is start getting back to my clock, so Sonia, keep on waving at me. You know I want to get back to sticking to the clock, because y'all, advertisers are starting to come. I also want to just point something out. Right? You know what? I'm going to say that for a little bit later. Can we talk about advertising? Can y'all put a pin in that and remind me to talk about advertising when we come back? All right. Corona outbreak all over the country traced back to large 4th of July gatherings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they got that. I think it has something to do with everything. I think all the outbreak, all the unrest, all the juking in the streets in front of the mayor's house, everything.
I played golf yesterday, and boy, are my legs tired. But so I'm at Jackson Park, and you know they closed Congo Beach, but right across from the park, everybody congregates and they play the bongos, and they just moved it.
Okay, I just got to point out something.
What's that?
Todd said everybody conjugates.
Oh,
Now,
hey,
like conjugal.
yeah.
Is that what they over there conjugating?
To be. To be.
No,
We be.
no. You know, conjugal visit, conjugate, right on the river, on the beach. You know, that's what people be.
I wasn't thinking that. Neither was Sonia.
You were thinking conjugate the verb. They congregate. Congregate. Because if they over there conjugating, we might have an outbreak of babies beyond COVID-19. So
We'll need penicillin also.
oh Lord. God. Okay. Wisconsin. Okay. Wisconsin, the mayor wants to let y'all know y'all are banned too. She has banned 22 states from the city of Chicago.
Yeah,
So
but I think New York banned us.
so first of all, wait, did New York City ban us or did New York State ban us?
Oh, I would assume it'd be the state.
Okay, so here's the thing. The mayor's around here banning people from Chicago. And everybody does is because the people from Chicago, well, except for the people in Bridgeport and the people up north, they not leaving the state to go to Wisconsin. Well, the Madigans go to Wisconsin, the Dailies go to Michigan, right? Okay, so is Michigan banned?
I don't think I've heard that say.
Okay, right. JB goes to Wisconsin too. Right. He goes to. So now is JB. So does that mean he can't go to his $1 million farm with the cows and where all the people working and then come back to the state? Can the mayor ban this governor from coming to? So like, I think the mayor thinks we're a city state.
Yeah.
She banned. So this is what everybody gonna do.
I tell you, we have all the makings of a city state.
I'm gonna tell you what. Yeah, we got a dictator. We gotta let me stop. Anyway, I just think that it's kind of crazy if the governor. I think it's like I feel like the mayor issues these hollow edicts and everybody like is like, yes, mayor, yes. Okay, so that means that if
unenforceable things,
I call them hollow, like symbols, like bells and whistles, but no real teeth.
Right.
And I'm going if you don't lock yourself up in your room, I might fine you. Big hat.
Oh my God! From Oklahoma.
Big hat, no cattle. You know what? I'm gonna use that. Big hat, no cattle. But Todd, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so what does that mean? You gonna go to Oak Park now? You just gonna go to like that? Just means just like all the other people do well around the city of Chicago. You know, like when they people like a border town. That means everybody gonna go buy their gas right across the line, and they go instead of going to Chicago, and go to Bensonville.
Excuse me, sir. Indiana's like 12 minutes away. I don't go anymore.
But can I tell you why? Why?
The mayor told me.
The mayor told you not to go to Indiana?
I think Indiana's one.
Indiana ain't banned.
I think it is.
No, it ain't.
You sure?
No, where all them white guys that's building all the buildings gonna come from?
That's a good.
Well, what are you talking about?
That's a good one.
Okay, seriously, think about this. When I looked at the map and I saw Wisconsin banned and Indiana, you can still smoke indoors in Indiana, I think, right? Like Indiana, they just closed all the beaches in Gary, right? Now, if you know somebody is coming to Chicago, they're gonna be coming from Gary, right? At a minimum. And then, well, black. But the white guys, see, all them white guys that live over in Whiting and all those places
St.
that
John,
transport over here to come do all the work and then go back.
Yes, I see them on the
coming off the Skyway. Right. Those guys, if we ban Indiana, then what's she gonna do?
Well, those guys, they run in, go in a building, or go out in the street, get in their car, and go right back.
And so here, see, there go Todd, make an excuse for them.
No,
they gonna get re-rich.
I mean, they don't stay. They just come in, take our money, and leave.
Bingo. And they gonna keep on. Like, as long as we locked in, can we at least get the jobs? Can like if you can't go nowhere, could you like I keep seeing these free money giveaways. Build the wall against Indiana. Build the wall. Keep those Indianans out.
Right.
I
mean,
it would be funny that
Skyway, maybe they should just shut it down.
Remember the white guys put bricks on theirs. Remember that? I showed you the picture of the bricks they put on the expressway so you couldn't come into Indiana. I was like, dang. It's like, keep them people out. William Barr defends the deep defense of federal buildings.
I saw that.
How did he do? I didn't see it.
I didn't see all of it, but he sounded like he's.
I would have been annoyed too, man. It's like, seriously. I mean, when has it been legal to break windows? When white kids do it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he just defended. Well, we're defending our property. What's wrong with that?
I'm gonna tell you what. Try and break one of my windows. See what happens. All right. Shout out to Gilbert Villegas, getting Wi-Fi hotspots for his ward, and I think my ward got some too.
I'm not surprised.
What happened to you guys? Y'all was busy shutting down black business.
We're not part of the chosen because we don't have a ton of money.
Right, and then when the business try to open up, y'all be on the team to shut them down. I still think that's crazy that Cork and Kerry was breaking all the rules.
Yeah, they were breaking the rules.
They were literally breaking the rules after hours, after they weren't supposed to be open, and the alderman is like, please work with them on the white side of town, on the black side of town. They like, the brothers like, man, we'll pay. What we got to do? They like, no.
You know, Mace, I can tell you, as long as I remember being in an elected position.
Black people can't drink unless they pay white people to do it?
It's always been a fear, yes, that if black people drink, there's going to be violence. I'm not quite sure.
Have you ever been to an Irish family reunion? All right, we'll be back. It's the Mace Jackson Show. You gotta go to a shanty one though, not a lace curtain one. You gotta go to a. See now, that's for the Irishmen listening. All right, y'all. This is the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back after a mix from Sonia and a couple messages. Hey, can I remind you all? Reverend Dr. Willie Wilson is running for the U.S. Senate. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, he's gonna win every black ward. And guess what that's gonna do? Make Dick Durbin real nervous. Hey, y'all should really think about that.
Oh yeah, he should be nervous.
You know what? I bet you're going to see him. Let's see all the people bringing him over here now because he's going to be trying to kiss that Butato. We'll be back. Not Butato. If my kids were here, they would die.
Yeah, I think I've ever heard that one.
Butato. I used to say, instead of I'm going to get your booty, be like, don't make me whoop that Butato.
Oh my God, Dad.
They like, you ain't going to do. I was like, no, I don't want to hit you.
Yeah. We're too close.
All right, y'all. So I've qualified for stars as well. So I'm going to ask you all to purchase some stars once we get it set up so you can show your love to the Mace Jackson Show. I want to talk to you all a little bit about advertising. We're going to come on and we're going to have Tennille come on and explain advertising because I don't know if everybody understands the premise of advertising. And so what I want you all to understand is, like, yes, you can buy a radio commercial for $30, but it really would be ineffective. So what I hope is that if you'd like to support me or support what we're doing, then I will create something for you. But the reality is, to do a $30 radio commercial means that you already have to have a produced spot that we can just insert. If not, then we have to create the spot. Now, if to create the spot and we're giving you a value, it's going to cost you about $150 to create the spot if you don't have it your own 30-second spot. That means what we have to do is write it, edit it, get it approved, record the time, and then get it, put music behind it and put it on air. That all is part of the process. That is all part of the process. And so if you call and say, I'd like to buy a spot to advertise, understand that the work that it takes to put one spot on is probably not going to give you the value that you need. So when I talk to you about spots at 30, I would recommend that if you're going to buy spots, and I'm not going to deny you the opportunity to buy a $30 spot, but you need to buy a minimum of 10, right? $300. That gives you some stretch so people can hear your spot, right? we have some of the greatest value. Right now, we are reaching approximately 40,000 people a week just digitally. Just digitally. That doesn't includes terrestrial, etc. We're going to be expanding into all of the Facebook tool sets, but what we need for you all to do is to recognize that we're building something. You realize, so before y'all start snapping off, because I've seen some of the emails that have gone to Tennille, etc., in trying to expedite this, understand we went from 0 to 1,000 in like 2 weeks, right? So putting a sales department, putting it all together, getting it together, getting it out, it's like we need it to work. Please, respectfully, if you want to support and you want to support, let us help you create a program. Everybody talking is trying to make sure that you understand that it's more than a notion to just say, okay, I want to advertise. Now, maybe I need to go through a class, maybe we need to do and demonstrate, but understand that nobody is trying to hurt you, nobody's trying to get over on you, but there is a thing of efficiency, right? So we'll talk about it, but one radio commercial probably not going to do you a lot of good. It'll do me good because every bit counts. I am going to let Tennille explain, but I'm talking right now because I'm talking. Tennille will come on and break down sales and break down advertising. But what I want is for the people that are looking to advertise, when you get the call or when you get a return, don't take offense to don't jump on my people. Like, straight up, I saw some crazy emails yesterday, and that was just unacceptable. Like, unacceptable. I'm ready. And realistically, y'all, it's still my sister. So when you start talking crazy, I'm gonna feel a certain way. You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show live on WBGX 1570 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Miss Sonia Escobar on the wheels of steel. Todd, I just want to point out the census is coming to an end. It's winding down. It ends in October. And we're losing. Chicago,
black folks. Right.
not just black folks, but Chicago has the lowest census response of the big cities. I think that and they just had a big ice cream contest in all the wards, and guess who were the largest turnouts?
Who?
The Latinos.
Ah.
Putting their numbers on the board. I think they're understanding that this is a chance for them to move ahead on the board, so they pushing the envelope. I think also there's been ineffective communication with the black community. I think this is, to me, like, Census Cowboy workout yet? How'd that work? Census Cowboy, I was I'm just saying. I think that the census has become a economic windfall with no real measurables. Right? So everybody is like, once DJ Khaled started doing, not DJ Khaled, once there was online parties, then everybody had an online party to do the census, and the census said we'll pay for it. Right?
Oh, really?
I think what happens is, it's like, if you got the hookup, then the census becomes a lick every 10 years. And I think we're playing around, and we're going to mess around, and the Latinos are going to demand more, and we're going to get less. And
I can tell you from knowing a little bit about the census that the Latinos were very well organized from the get-go.
Right. Remember they took over the Urban League?
Yes.
The census meetings started. Chuy Garcia started having the census meetings at the Urban League so that they could keep it under the radar. Like, we're doing census at the Urban League, and then there was okay, so and no. All the shops you walk into, I'm saying that, went to you on the camera and you ducking down, but it's okay. When you take over the mic like that, expect that I'm going to send the camera to you. All right, but I think we got to talk about this census thing at some point, because I think in their efforts to reward people with census money, they may punish us. Right? And in that, like, you seen any census? Shout out to Winona Redmond.
Well, I'm kind of connected to the census through my wife, so I've seen a lot of it.
Right. You know what? Well, okay, so I'm a chill, because I don't want to put your wife on blast. But I'm concerned that black folks are being undercounted at a time when Latinos are making their move. And I just think there's got to be some other engagement, and I think people got to get out of their feelings and start to get to the credible voices in our community, because I don't think there's a lot of politicians that people trust. And I think they were talking about, and when I say they, I mean the regional census bureau was talking about reaching out to some, I was going to say young artists, but they're not young anymore, because they're like your age. Well, that's the point, though. A lot of the things, like, I don't feel like they even have credible messengers in my age group. Right? Like, honestly, like, people who have kids, who you could really make this argument to. It's like, but I think, again, the people that know the political hustle know how to use the census to get paid, not necessarily to see the count. I'm not tripping. I'm going to let that go, and I'm going to keep moving. Todd, I'm going to move on to COVID-19, which is really extending to 2021.
Did you cough?
I cleared my throat. Let me clear my throat. COVID. So this is social media question of the day. Get your phones ready. 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. I want to hear from you this morning. We're going to open up the phone lines. 872-259-7474. Remember, when you call, it's going to ask you your name and your comment. It's going to ask you for your name and your comment, and then you'll be on hold until we pick up your call. Okay? So be clear. Todd, COVID-19 is now COVID-19-COVID-21. Like, there's a dash. So we got 19 when it started, 20 that we're going to have to sit out, in 2021 when they think there's the possibility of becoming returning to normal.
Herd immunity.
What are we gonna do? So so here's the things that there's a category.
I hate to say it, but I may have to subscribe to Hulu or one
Hulu.
Hulu. I may run out of Netflix. I may have to go to another subscription.
I think that I think what we do here is going to be even more important. So that's why we're building out a full day roster, because people are going to need information, entertainment, etc. And digital is where it's going to be, right? It's not going to be terrestrial, it'll be digital. Anyway, so what are the activities that we will do, pick up, make happen? One of the coolest things I've seen happen right now, shout out to my girl Rita Lee, and the pop-up drive-ins. The drive-in theaters, and then she just did a concert with DaBaby, and it was a drive-in. I was like, DaBaby? Who's baby? I kept saying, I tried to go back and forth. DaBaby, not DaBaby, and then it's DaBaby, and it's another baby something, and then it's Lil this. See, I'm getting old. But anyway, shout out to Rita Lee, because she did a drive-in concert in Harvey where people stayed in their cars, social distance, and he performed on stage, in the parking lot. And it was like a whole concert of teens, and everybody got to come out, and it was all good. What kind of activities, how will we adapt our activities? I said movies and Netflix. Like, you know, like, I used to not have a problem staying in the house because you could always turn on the TV.
Right.
You know, like, I would even watch baseball now.
I guess that's not something you usually do. Huh?
No. Hey, y'all try to watch? I could watch the last 3 innings of a baseball game.
But now that it counts, right? Now
right. But now
counts.
it's like, but now you start to wonder, what do you do to the end? Like, so, movies though, like movies, Netflix, what will there be entertainment still? Like, what happens? Books? Have you read? Are you gonna read? What will it mean for activism? Right? Like, will there be virtual activism? I think we got to pay attention to that because I think they can sneak a lot of stuff in on us. Then this whole mask concept, right? Like, are we masked forever? I think we are.
I don't. As you know, this is not the first time we've had viruses. So, you know, after a while, things go back to normal.
Not in China.
No, that is China's normality.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Are the masks the new normal? And then finally, business.
But that's what I'm saying. They always wore masks. And in Asian countries, they seem to have, they got bad air quality.
And then finally, Todd, business. What does it mean for business? We saw
more stuff dropped on my porch.
So I think that's interesting. More stuff dropped on your porch, but you're a government pensioner. I keep thinking about people who keep getting this stuff dropped. In my courtyard, it's Amazon packages all day long. What happens when that job when the job doesn't return? I was just thinking about as I'm contemplating this, I was thinking about all the cranes downtown.
Right.
Building office buildings when people no longer need office space.
Yes, that's going to be an interesting.
How will the country adapt? Now, will Chicago be able to continue the economic boom? Right? I mean, we have to reshape like our laws. You got to reshape the tax structure. Like, you think about being a business now and having a downtown office. Why?
Well, if nobody can go out.
How? Right. Well, if nobody can go, but the country has moved on. Companies are realizing. Think about this. Google said they're not bringing their people back until the summer of 2021. Google is one of the biggest companies in the country. What does it mean for us to be shut down in 2021? And what does it mean for black folks? Because I was just thinking.
But we don't know how long we're going to be shut down in 2021.
And let me just tell you, I think the safety of most people, the people I feel like who have the most cavalier attitudes towards all of this, are government employees and people who have pensions already.
I'm not cavalier. If I was cavalier, I'd just be running around like them folks on the beach. Woo-hoo-hoo! This don't matter. That's cavalier.
I mean cavalier about the economy that we have to rebuild.
I'm saving the economy by staying at home.
I'm not tripping. But how do we move forward? Think about if this, you know how they say if it's we hearing white businesses closing all day long.
I talked to a salesman yesterday.
And you're going to tell us about it when we come back from this break. Sonia, the mix. And, hey, Google. Okay, Google. Can you please tell us what the weather is today? Maybe we can get that out of Google.
So you're trying to be nice to Google. And Google
today in Chicago, there'll be scattered thunderstorms with a forecasted high of 84 and a low of 72. Right now it's 73 degrees and partly cloudy.
There it is. Okay, well, we got some weather. Now we got to figure out this traffic. We'll be back. Did you watch that meeting online yesterday?
Who?
You didn't even go to the meeting, the virtual meeting.
Oh no, I didn't go to the meeting. No.
I
Did
got
you go?
something in the air. Yeah, I went. I physically went. Todd, you have the camera.
No, I was out golfing, destroying my legs. What little are left. I felt like I'd done some time in the Mojave Desert. Phew. By the time I got to 14 out of 18 holes, I was pretty much through. Just dragging the bag along. But that's what happens. You get older, you're older, injuries, kind of start wearing on you after a while. I got a lot of steps in though, that's for sure. We'll see. Oh. Richmond riots instigated by white supremacists posing as Black Lives Matter. That's what I thought.
What happened?
The Griot says that Richmond riots were instigated by white supremacists posing as Black Lives Matter. Actually, it wasn't just the Griot. They actually were speaking from the voice of the police chief in Richmond. I saw a guy on Facebook say, maybe it's time for vigilante justice. I was like, yeah, that's what we need. We need another group of lawless people.
Hey, Sonia. Hey, Google. What's the traffic from 95th and the Dan Ryan to downtown Chicago?
On your way to downtown Chicago, there's a slowdown on I-90 West past exit 59B that is causing an 11-minute delay. You can save 7 minutes by taking I-94 West. It is 21 minutes by car.
Hey, Google. What's the traffic from downtown to 95th and the Dan Ryan?
I can't find driving directions to your destination.
Did we open up too soon? You are listening to What's in It for the Black People Radio. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Hey, Todd, I'm asking the social media question of the day. How will you cope with COVID until 2021? You told me you were talking to a salesman, and then I'm going to go to the phone lines.
Oh,
hold on. Let me get a phone number one more time. 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. What will you do to cope with COVID 2021? Go ahead, Todd.
Oh, basically, I was talking to a salesman on the golf course, and I asked him how things had changed for him, and he said the only thing that had changed for him was visiting people. He still, talked to them and called, but most of the stuff was done at his office, at home. as a home office.
He got a home office. Okay, I tried to get me a little home office together. All right, look, let's do this. Let's go to the live line. We got callers, right? If we got some
You're gonna have to get rid of the jacuzzi.
We don't have a
the
jacuzzi.
playroom, the theater.
We don't
and
have.
maybe you could make one.
We don't have none of that, man. I was gonna put a jacuzzi on the roof though. All right, cousin Juan got one in her backyard. They be watching movies. She ain't never invited nobody over. All right, what's up?
Only fit so many people in the jacuzzi.
Right, and actually half the time I don't want to be in the jacuzzi because I'll be like, "Did you pee in the water?" And I know somebody be passing
You
gas.
don't bring your own chlorine?
No, I bring the ammonia. All right, let's go, Sonia. Who we got on the live line?
Is that Johnny?
Johnny? Johnny from Hyde Park. What's up, Johnny? Yes, you are. Johnny, you're on. You're on.
Twice.
Hello? Johnny. Okay, he was like, uh-oh.
Hey, I'm here.
Okay, talk.
I can't hear you guys.
Okay, talk. It seems low. You sound far away. Come
All
on.
I can say is that there's a certainty we're in denial. I'll just lay it out. And if you don't have cash on hand, you better be concerned.
Yeah.
Cash on hand and pray for a vaccine.
Yeah,
I heard it's 17 days till they're going to reduce movies to video to 17 days.
Wow. And then I'm trying to figure out, so man, cash on hand, think about that. Do you have cash stack? What happens if they shut off the bank, man?
Oh God, they won't.
They did. Chase messed up just a few weeks ago.
Oh well, yeah, there was trouble with the banks, but you know the government would be all over that because they know if people cannot get money, the whole place just goes up for grabs.
All right. Well, I'm nervous, man. I'm gonna tell you, Johnny.
Why are you
is
nervous? You got a gate. You got some white folks, so you know you're gonna be all right.
The white folks would be like, "Get him out of here!" They'd be like, "We got something in that building right there," you know.
No, I bet the police would come right over to your and stand in front of your gate for you
and shoot me. Right? You know how that works. Let's go to the live line. Who else we got, Sonia?
It says Brandon Johnson, aka Randall Starr.
What's up, Bleak?
Good morning.
Good, man. Talk to us.
Hello.
Okay, so
they can't hear us.
We can hear you.
Hello.
Yes. He can't seem to hear us, Sonia. Can you hear us, Brandon?
I can't hear y'all.
Okay, so then stop, because it's like I'm trying to struggle. I don't know what's going on. Look, that was Brandon, and I don't know if people are not able to hear us, but we want to appreciate you calling. We'll be back. We'll take your call in a minute. But Todd, I am going to say that we have got to start. I don't think we were prepared last time. And I'm concerned that there'll be a rush again when they close up.
Did you see Night of the Living Dead?
No, I don't watch those movies.
It's a classic, and it's in black and white.
Oh, no,
and I would see it when I was young at home because I think it's somewhere in the 60s. And at the end, so the only person who survives the night is the black guy. And as soon as he walks outside, a white guy shoots him in the head.
That sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. All right, y'all. This is the Mae Jackson Show. We are coming back. When we come back, yesterday we found out that there was a cannabis community meeting. And that cannabis community meeting, I learned a lot yesterday. What I learned is that no matter how things change, they stay the same. When we come back, I want to talk about the people. I want to talk about the cannabis meeting and what I learned yesterday. And Todd, I'm angry. I'm angry.
Boy, you can see it right in front of your face how they were just slapping us.
And I think everybody that was black that was there did. And it was one more example of how lobbyists, legislators write the laws, make it sound good, and then all of those little things inside of it whoop us.
I think part of the problem is, as you know, you write laws, and like you said, we're waiting for the rules. Well, the rules are written by some white lawyers, and then they give them to lobby to the small group of legislators and say, this is what needs to be.
I'm gonna tell you that cannabis. I'm really starting to believe that the cannabis social equity law was oh my god, was a bamboozle. Was a bamboozle. And I don't think anybody wants to admit it. But I was talking to the white guys yesterday, and they was just like, I mean, bro, y'all got straight up screwed. Like, the white guys were like, I'm just showing you the rules.
And it ain't gonna work for
and
y'all.
it's not gonna work out for y'all.
Yeah.
And even the state knows that they've got bad actors that have been proven to be bad actors in other places and scamming the minority piece. And they're not doing anything to stop it. When we come back, we're going to have a deep discussion about what we learned at that cannabis hearing yesterday. We'll be back.
1570 WBGX Harvey, Chicago. The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. Call in and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. That's 872-259-7474. Give us a call and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474.
Oh, that's a jam. Sonia, what happened to the callers? Tell me. Time since placed on earth. Place on earth. You're on camera.
Advocate for black people in the world.
Pocus pocus. They will all know us. No, bro, pocus. One, put you down.
Be black. It's a day to be black. Day to be black.
Shine, shine, you're beautiful inside. Hey, rise up, yeah. Don't you know you can fly? Wake up, world. Wake up, Chicago, because it is now 7:09. That means you got 51 minutes to get there if you got to be there at 8 o'clock. If you got to be there at 9, you got 1 hour and 51 minutes. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, plus Miss Sonia Escobar in the building, and I still ain't figured out a name for this lion sitting over here, Todd. You know, he like, name me. We should have a contest.
That's the best way.
We should have a contest to name him. Maybe we'll do that. Not today. We'll say that for a social media contest. We're going to put him on. Because you know the lion's going to have his own segments, right?
Oh, really?
He's going to have his own segments. Like, you're going to have to get out. Ruthie going to have to get out. I'm going to have to get out. And he's just going to take over the camera for a few minutes and have some discussions with people about things that maybe me and you can't talk about. Maybe Ruthie and us can't talk about. Because, you know, they'll point the finger at us and say, you know, he's going to ask questions that if I asked, they might accuse me of being a racist, a homophobe. They can call all the names.
Right.
So the lion is going to ask a lot of questions. So we got to figure out what's his name. Because he's going to be bold. He ain't going to be scared. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Let's move on. Todd, yesterday I was informed that white folks was planning to get rich again. And,
well, you know, Maze, if your people would just work hard and stick to it, they'd be just as rich as white folks.
Dango Negroes. First of all, let me send a shout out to the Maze Jackson audience. Like, black people. Greektown didn't know what was going on. Greek block, because Greektown ain't Greektown no more. I call it Greek block. They only got like a block. Now they keep building skyscrapers, man. Yeah. It's like, they be like, we do not use it to change the neighborhood. I'm like,
what do they call that? Better, greatest use, or whatever the heck that is?
Best, greatest use?
Yeah.
I don't know, but all I know is this. The dude was talking about saving Greektown, and there was no Greektown. I was like, bro, you got a block. You got a block. However, I think it was very important that black folks watched and viewed the process.
You know what's interesting? My Turkish friend, always wants to go
You
to
got a
Greektown.
Turkish friend?
Yeah, he always wants to go to Greektown. He took me to Turkey. Remember I told you I was in Turkey?
Oh, so he went down there. He went to Turkey. Okay, so do the Greeks know he's a Turk? Because they might put something in his food. You know, the Greeks and the Turks don't get along.
Yeah, I know, but I'm sure once he speaks, I mean, he grew up in Turkey. They
Does he gobble?
know.
Like, blah, 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 blah.
He's got an
I'm from
accent.
Turkey. Blah, blah.
No, not like that.
Blah, blah. No, like, blah.
No.
Okay. All right. So, Todd. So, we go to the meeting. First of all, let me just tell you that I don't know what the heck y'all did on social media. I don't know what the heck y'all did, but let me just tell you, prior to that meeting, there was a lot of scrambling around, a lot of lawyers, a lot of people trying to figure out a game plan. And I'm going to tell you that I think that...
Oh, I'm sorry. From the black side or the white side?
The white side.
Oh.
Because the white side was like, the black people are coming!
Oh, yeah.
Right? And see, they've been pulling these Zoom chat meetings where nobody shows up and nobody knows what's going on. Next thing you know, you got some joints in your neighborhood. Literally, some joints in your neighborhood. So, first of all, let me suggest that I am not in any way, shape, or form upset with the white guys who are taking advantage of the business opportunity. And I will tell you that the operator that was there yesterday, I think he was trying to find a way, like, to do something.
Uh-huh.
Right? Trying to find a way to... Because I really don't think that... I think that when confronted with it, I think it's hard for white folks to try and justify not having no black people involved.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
They
put
like...
it in their face.
Now, there's two types of people. The white boys that come from out of town, like that are corporate investors, they could give two flying flaps about you Negroes.
Right.
The people that are from here get that they live here, and if they don't figure something out, it's not going to end up well. Like, long term. Like,
right.
Long term, it's not going to end up well. So I think the operator was looking for a way, and as we were talking yesterday, we realized that, first of all, this operator was not applying for a new license. Remember the medical licenses that came out?
Yes.
And how the law said if you had a medical license before anybody could get in, you could get a second license free. So he was using his second license option, right? So it wasn't something new, but it just put a cherry on the fact that they wrote a law that essentially said we gonna make the white guys rich before we even get a black folks a chance to get in it.
Right.
Okay? So as we're talking and the lawyers are talking and the phone calls are flying back and forth, and I want to be clear, in this fight, I'm not fighting for Maze Jackson to get a piece. I'm fighting to create an opportunity for someone else to get a piece. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not. So when I'm talking, I'm clear because everybody like Maze. Well, we could do this for you, and I'm like, no, I don't. That's not me. I want somebody to get in legitimately. Todd, do you know that the law is written that if you even try to get a minority partner, and I'm using minority because that's the language, that they will ban you from any future opportunities? So dig this. They wrote the law. So like, say you got the guy and he wants to negotiate and he says, I'll give up 40% of my company.
Uh-huh.
Do you know that the law is written so that you can't do that? And if you do, you will not be able to get another license. So now you got the white operators have an excuse as to a legal excuse as to why it doesn't. I can't ask somebody to give me a piece of your company that's going to disqualify you from ever participating again.
Right.
I mean, even the maddest people understand that. And as we were talking about this, we were talking about the laws being written specifically to, without saying it, draw lines around the black community to keep us out. It's like green redlining. So now, Todd, I was watching the makeup of the team. And I thought as these white folks was looking, and I'm telling you, the white folks was scrambling around. They was looking like, dang. Oh my God. Shout out to Perry Mandera. Because he can't, do you know Perry?
No.
Perry, good dude. Come in like, look, man, we can work it all out. He ain't like he ain't the cigar chomping white guy that's like, hell no.
Right.
He like, look, man, how do we make this thing work?
Right.
And even when you had a compliant owner who wants to create the opportunity, the law says no. But then, in the whole process of this whole thing, Todd, it was all white. Like, there wasn't a black lawyer in the room. This is what got me. They so bold with it these days. And I don't even know if it's bold or don't even consider it. That wasn't even black outreach. The outreach went to a white guy.
Amazing. I tell you, it's just nothing new under the sun. When I was an investment banker, the white firms, which were, large firms, they would do things with government, and they'd have to reach the minority, goals. And so what they do is they wouldn't bring investment bankers in. They do something like say, we're going to hire this firm, and they're going to print all the tombstones.
Right, the Black Death.
Yeah, so they did some business, but they weren't competing in their business for sure.
Right. They're putting their business. So here's my question. So that's the first thing I saw. The second thing I saw is that by the time we're engaged, we're so far down the path. Like, there was really nothing we could do yesterday except let white folks know that we was there and watching and make everybody uncomfortable.
Well, they would say things like, well, there's nobody in that space. Well, nobody black.
There's black.
Because, you've kept black people out for so long, no one was able to get any experience in these things that pop up. And then you say, well, nobody's got any experience in this. How are we going to, just let anybody in?
Exactly. But here's my thing. So that part you talked about where the white companies would hire somebody else to do something, that used to kind of be my space.
That was your space?
Right? Like, okay, we'll hire you to do the outreach, right?
Right.
And then the outreach, then you get in the door and you open up the door to outreach because you realize that your little $5,000 ain't going to be enough to help the brothers that's going to be pushing on you once they find out you got the contract.
Right.
Right? So then you got to go back and say, look, man, when we did the Dan Ryan Reconstruction Project, we hired people along we went back to the budget every time and said, all right, we from 35th to 47th. We got to hire from that neighborhood. One of the things that I recognize...
You became a white construction company. I have a change order.
Except for they didn't pay. I wasn't a white. I was a black construction company because they choked me out of business. This is what I want to do. I want to go to take a break, and then I want to come back because I really, Todd, I'm trying to find the space to provide an excuse for black people to let this happen. Now, I'm trying to find a space where we can condone this happening.
And I always say, and people say, well, they ain't doing nothing. Well, I always say, people don't do things if you don't press them. So we've got these branches of the NAACP. I think if this was 50 years ago, this is where they would step in. But now...
we fighting the Columbus statue. I'm saying, and then they're going to have another Zoom. Think about this. This ain't over. This is not over.
Well, that's the good part.
Well, for the white people.
Oh, you mean
that's the best.
They make more money later down the road, right?
Hey, look, y'all. We're going to continue this conversation when we come back. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm telling y'all, we don't have every bit of our intellect goes through white folks. When I tell you that when I was in Springfield, Tim Mapes appointed everybody's executive assistant, which meant that he saw everything that hit your desk.
Right.
And they could route and reroute and plan and listen. And just like you could listen, what people refuse to believe is that just like you can listen to the meetings, you think if you think the mugs didn't have it where they could listen back. I mean, people are laughing, but I'm saying, like, I tell you about the time I was in City Hall during the Daley administration, and I was Lorman Lane's chief of staff, and they had those city clocks, right, with the city logo on it. I was like, we need that at our office. And I was just talking to Lona, right? We was just me and her in the office. I was like, we need a clock like that in our office. She was like, take that one. I bullshit you not. Within like 5 minutes, as I was trying to find a way to get up there, to get that mug down, there was a person from maintenance saying, don't mess with that clock, we'll get you another.
Yeah. So
now,
basically you're saying you think the place is bugged in some fashion.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about it, you've been in intergovernmental affairs and they turn up the speaker and they listen to what's going on in all the committee meetings. So why wouldn't you wire the rest of the place?
I'm not gonna say it's outside the realm.
If I'm the mayor, especially during that time, like, and you could have put that in place during the Harold Washington flip-flop era. Now, you meet in your office, I got everything you talking about. And it's like, but it's wired into the system. So even when you get swept, that don't count.
Right.
That's one of the main wires that just goes.
It's just part of the system.
Yes. So.
Did you guys have your office swept?
That wasn't even. I wasn't even at that level to think of sweeping. Now.
No, I wouldn't think most aldermen would even think about that.
And Lona Lane was the last person thinking about sweeping the office. She was like, "Tell the alderman. You can tell the mayor. How you don't gotta bug me. I'll tell."
I'll tell.
So. I just don't think, like, I want to, Todd, when you looked at that meeting yesterday, we was boxed out at every point where you could interject.
Yeah.
It's like somebody was like, this is what you're going to do. It's just like when we finally got the Black Caucus to get the power. When we finally got the Black Caucus to go after procurement and all that stuff, when we did the disparity study, then Madigan had chief procurement officers installed that undercut. They had more power than the director. Right? They did this again with this cannabis, and it's like we go to the meetings mad because we don't know the rules. And then when you find out the rules were written specifically to screw you, you get mad, say fuck this, and be like, let's tear this whole shit up. And then that's when they bang your ass for something else. And because we know that 15% of this money is going to eliminate illegal drugs, then they're going to use this to start prosecuting all the people that's on social media sharing that they still sell weed.
My man says there should be a moratorium on all cannabis expansion of any kind.
I think we need to file a federal lawsuit against the industry. They created a separate but equal industry that's illegal.
Which tend to always be unequal.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Well, I don't know if you're a little confused. Hey, tomorrow. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you. This is the Maze Jackson Show. You listen to What's in it for the Black People Radio, even though it doesn't sound like it right now. WBGX, 1570 AM. We are talking about what we learned at that cannabis meeting yesterday. Todd, I'm trying to not be upset.
Oh, well, you should be upset. And Sonia, can you play Freebird for me?
I just, is that Leonard Skinner? At the white kids now, as you're playing this, Leonard Skinner's symbol, the first time I really recognized the Confederate flag regularly was Leonard Skinner.
They are from Alabama.
Right, Bill. Todd, I need someone to help me understand how we got boxed out of a new industry. I promise you I'm trying everything that I have in my guts to not be upset with the Black Caucus and black people. But it seems like even when we have the moral high ground, we get played. Yesterday, I sat through a hearing that was really a kangaroo court. And I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't understand how in the world we could have that many black people in Springfield and the white guys just got to walk. They cut through that process like a hot knife through butter.
I would like to see the, I forgot what they call those things. You know how they give you some kind of information?
The bill analysis?
Yeah, the bill analysis. I would love to see what that said.
The bill analysis said we're going to free the Negroes and make white people rich. And the Negroes will be happy. I am telling you.
You know what I say? Free ain't free.
I'm going to be... Todd, I was so outdone with the whole process. And then it's like... Then... You got people who you trying to tell to have faith in the system. To believe... Like... This goes back to my why do we need term limits to fix this? Like, why do we vote? You have to explain to me. You have to explain to me how, with a blank slate, with a clean sheet of paper, by the time they put all the words on the paper, it equals black people with 0. You have to explain to me how we pointed to this legislation as the model for the country. What it essentially says to me, to the rest of the country, is screw the Negroes. The Indians got casinos. They did. Now, say what you want.
I say nothing.
But they didn't participate in the writing themselves out of the business.
They couldn't. They ain't have no legislators.
Now, so there goes my point. With no legislators, they got casinos. Right now, I'm going to tell you again, black people are cut out of the weed industry. We cut out of the sweepstakes industry. We cut out of the video gaming industry. We cut out of the casinos. Now and then what they're going to do is they're going to tell us that we got to have, it's going to be 6 rich Negroes who got $200,000 to put up, and we going to be put out the business again. Out the gaming business. No path to entry. None. Not even thinking about it. I was thinking, Todd.
What?
White folks was making so much money on this gambling and all these things that they was bribing people to make money. Not one black person nowhere in the mix. Not in the mix. Like, not even to be, but like, no black operators. There's no black. Todd, how do you create an industry and not one black person? Not one.
I don't know, because as you know,
am I being crazy? I mean,
I thought, like I'm sure a lot of black people, that there are black people in the room deciding how this is going to work.
There were. That's my point. I mean, okay. Let's just be clear. Let's just be clear. We saw 4 legislators. We saw 2 black women, 2 white women. I want you to remember that initially, the very first time we heard about the legalization of cannabis, we heard about it from we heard about it from Heather Staines and Kelly Burke. They were touting it on black radio. We then said, wait a minute. Hold on. Y'all mean to tell me we done been the most locked up, the most, and now y'all gonna come on our radio and tell us? And then we got 2 black legislators on it. 2 black legislators that I know and love. Good relationships, good people. But they got bamboozled. And it's like they didn't get bamboozled at their expense because they can't make no money off of it no way.
Right.
They got bamboozled at our expense. Now, I'm going to be wrong for pointing this out. But what was crazy yesterday? What was crazy? Was at that meeting was an eclectic mix of people. And black people who were at that meeting, some who had been locked up, some of the people that they touted as this being a benefit for, sat in the room and watched as white people cut up another $50 million enterprise that they were legislated out of. Like, we got legislated out of this. And then on the same day, we find out that KPMG, that the governor's staff decided to hire a company from Switzerland to be fair.
Fair to who?
We clearly see.
The Swiss.
That's right, because them white boys putting that money in the Swiss bank accounts.
Oh, my.
Do y'all understand? Like, there's one thing when white people draw a red line around us. It's another thing when we help them draw it. Like, just understand that everywhere J.B. Pritzker went, everywhere all these legislators went, right? They talked to us about this social equity piece, how it was going to change people's lives. Do you know that right now, there is a company, Harvest, who is lined up to get cannabis licenses that has already admitted to the fact that they have scammed the process in other states?
Oh, jeez.
The state of Illinois is doing nothing to put them out.
Really?
Now, they have the best license writers. They have all of the experience. How does a black person compete with that? And then, I guess my question is, and this is going to go back to my 8 o'clock. How much do you have to pay to get integrity in Illinois? Right? Because like right now, no white guys feel the pressure of Harvest being a scam company, creating sham companies. Todd, I was sitting in a meeting one time with a cannabis company. And you know, white guys tend to get comfortable. They're like, oh, Maze, you're kind of like us, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, and they slap me on the back and they get comfortable. So I was sitting in this cannabis company.
What they mean when they say that?
What?
They mean money is the only thing that you'll care about.
And as we were sitting in the meeting, one of the white boys came in. He was like, and there was a genuine white boy who was like, man, we got to work with Maze. We can help get these cannabis. We can get some real social equity. And the big owner of the company wasn't concerned. He was like, man, I mean, we can throw Maze on the license. Man, just give us your stuff and tell us who you want us to throw on the license. We got this whole social equity thing worked out. And the other white guy was like, I didn't know about that. He was like, right, you weren't supposed to. Get Maze's information. I didn't give him my information, and I walked away from the deal. Many of you all may have heard me touting early on the relationship. It's like the key is, again, when they put the bogus opportunity in front of you, do you take it? We have an obligation when we are in play to open the door for ourselves. Now, you got to be able to do the job, and you got to find the people who do the job, but we got to open the door ourselves. Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I done blew off another break, but we're going to get it back. We're going to take a few minutes, and then we'll be back after this mix. Come in! You know it's ringing, right? I'm hearing it ringing. Clear. I hear it ringing clear.
I'm coming out.
And I just got an alert that it got re-upped. It sounds crystal. I'm coming out. I want the world to know.
Let you show.
I want the world to know, to let it show.
Yeah. I'm coming out. I want the world to know, to let it show. I want the world to know, let it show. I'm coming out. I want the world to know, let it show. Oh, yeah. Bum, bum. Inside out, around and round. Inside out.
Upside down. Girl, you turn me inside out.
Round.
Upside down. Girl, you turn me. I know. Oh no, it's got. Your own. No, no, no. Found loving, still be found, like on time around. Second time around, second time around. You are listening to What's in It for the Black People Radio live on WBGX 1570 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd, Stroger, 872-259-7474. We taking calls? Are we taking calls? 872-259-7474. Let me tell y'all. This cannabis thing, we did it to ourselves this time. I don't know the purpose of building the track, hiring the referee, calling all of the racers to get there, putting up being able to write where the starting line is and the finish line is, and in that whole process, you don't write yourself in the race. I'm not saying you had to write yourself as the winner.
Right.
But you wrote yourself out of the race. Now, there's a lot of sensitivity around this because we accept try. You had one job. Like, real talk. There was nothing bigger. Same people gonna tell us that they want us to vote for a fair tax. I bet the white people didn't write. The same people who gonna tell us to vote for a fair tax took toilets out of their house.
Well, I think it would be nice, as we see this playing out, if the legislators who were involved step up and say, well, this is what's supposed to happen. So
remember they tried that. Remember our attorney tried that, and the governor said there will be no changes.
No. I mean the ones who were involved in the writing to step up and say, well, this is how black people are supposed to.
They can't.
He said, I didn't.
See, cause that's just not what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is, well, what's already happening. $50 million a month going out the door. They're going to come back and sell us the 15% that goes to the same old. I'm curious to know, who are the beneficiaries of this cannabis money? How much of it do you think went to nonviolence and violence prevention?
I bet a ton of it, actually. It's supposed to go in there.
Where's the accountability?
Well, that I don't know. I don't know where the paperwork is, but.
So I guess my question now becomes.
Yeah, as you always say, we like non-for-profits, but we don't want anybody to make any real money.
See, And here's the thing. Now what has to happen is we need to track who got awarded the money. Remember the state came out just last week or 2 weeks ago. Remember when we started talking about this? And then they had to hurry up and put on the thing to tell us about the money that they was giving away from the cannabis. Mm-hmm. Who got it? Who got it? We got any calls over there? I'm going to tell you. This is the other part. We are hamstrung by necessity. Right? Like, I feel like this cannabis thing is the boogeyman thing. The boogeyman, how they get black people at elections. We got to hurry up and do this. We got to hurry up and do this. Or, if we don't do this, this is going to be the worst thing ever.
That, I remember that being in my elected life, that would be a reoccurring theme.
And so, if we don't get this done now, then, like, can I ask a question? Name me one benefit that cannabis has had to black people, and they're going to say they got expungement. I'm going to suggest that you should have expunged people who are, you letting people out who's shooting people. So I don't give you no points for expungement, because if COVID would have happened then, these people would have been out anyway. So now my question becomes, and I'll give you that. What's the tangible economic benefit? You don't go to jail, you get out, and now you got nothing. I just need to tell you, yesterday there was people who was at that meeting who could see themselves literally excluded from the process. Like, to the point where people are getting up, walking out because it's no. But I thought it was an important lesson for you to see what happened. Like, there was literally nothing anybody legally could do yesterday.
That helplessness feeling is awful.
It was more than helplessness, though. It was anger.
Well, helplessness tends to make you angry.
How do we not be helpless? Like, I feel. And now, everybody low key.
You need a knight in shining armor. You need somebody you need a Joan of Arc, someone who's going to grab a sword and say, I'm going to run in here. All the rest of you, watch my flank.
No, they're going to be like, I'm going to stab them.
Sometimes you get burned, sometimes you don't.
I'm going to stab them. They're going to be like, they're going to line up a Negro to come get you. I hear it ringing. Still not coming through? We got to reconnect it probably. All right, so look, y'all. I'm going to take some of your social media comments. But, yes. And so, well, here's the thing. They're talking about the weed czar being black, right? Good friend of mine. But I think she's been...
But it's her power.
I think they took her power.
What the heck that means?
Well, here's the challenge. The challenge is there's a power struggle in the governor's office. So, cannabis was Christian Mitchell's thing.
Yeah, and he's still there, right?
And he's still the deputy governor, and he has the relationship with the chief of staff, who really makes all the decisions. Uh-huh. So, you know how you got your baby? And you like, man, I done shepherded through, and you done met all the weed people from around the whole entire world, and they have made you the most important person in the world?
Right.
You ain't giving that up.
No.
You ain't giving that up. And so you can hire whoever you want. But I'm the boss. And if on the hierarchy.
Why would Superman want to go back to just being Clark Kent?
Exactly. So at the same time, we don't have anybody we get to hold accountable. Then think about this. Guess who's over the Department of Insurance? So it's the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Insurance. The handsome gentleman, the handsome lady is the boss over at the... So you know they ain't trying to help no black people. And then the final part of this is, in the governor's office, give me an example of when they've done right by black people. Like, give me a tangible example of when the governor's office, when not forced, has done right by black people.
I think that's going to be tough.
No. Come on. Cannabis.
We're not just talking about this.
Gaming.
Governor, right? We're just talking about governors.
I'm talking about, but I want to talk about this governor. I can't talk about no other governors. Cause every single time somebody black comes out, the first thing they do is say, "I want to thank the." I'm saying we still ain't heard about Roseland. Still ain't. They built 3 hospitals. They passed cannabis with no Negroes. They gave a casino with no black. What have we got? Who's talking about it, Todd? Besides this show.
That's a good question. But isn't that part of our problem? There's not enough spaces where these discussions happen. I mean, it'd be nice if they had somebody on, public TV or something.
Why would the white people put them on public TV to tell them?
Right there.
Why would they put them on public TV to tell the white folks? Like, man, this works great. Don't tell nobody.
Exactly. Well, there's the problem.
Right? I mean, if I'm the cannabis companies, I'm donating to Chicago tonight.
Yeah, right.
We're going to tell the story. I'm going to be your best. I'm donating to all the people.
Yeah, you just keep doing what you're doing.
Right? And in the meantime, any black ad agencies? No. I mean, I ain't tripping because I knew a lot of the guys involved yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But even them, I was like, y'all do realize y'all white telling me about a black problem. Like I don't want anything. I don't want to be the partner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like, you can tell me what the state has a responsibility to do, then you got to tell me what locally you have the responsibility to do. Like, we're not even in the and then we got then white folks haven't figured out how to interpret black people and then market themselves as the Negro conjurers. So yesterday we had a white guy explaining to us the unfairness of the system to black people as he was eating. Kind of crazy, man.
Oh, yeah. This is how the system's unfair, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I know we love Eminem. We'll be back. And it's like, I don't have no shade, but it's like...
You mean the greatest rapper?
I'm just saying, like, it's a whole... There was not... The blackest people in the room was the people we brought.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And everybody had a plan to get us out the room. Like, what was your plan coming into the room?
It kind of reminds me, it may be off, it's just my memory, of having the zoning meeting about Dunkin' Donuts coming on Stony Island. And I asked the white guy, I said, are there going to be any black owners? And he was like, no, we have a relationship with other group. I was thinking, basically what you're saying is, in your region, which is,
every region in the world I've been to, except Boston.
Yeah, like basically what you're saying, the black people aren't involved in this ever.
Right. And then can I tell you, it was a hook. That Dunkin' Donuts thing was like a thing that was floating around where it's like, if you could come up with $50,000 cash, you could get a franchise. And they jumped on those and the subways and used them as opportunities to build institutional wealth. There's an Indian guy that I know that owns Subways and Dunkin' Donuts. He owns 100. You know what he does?
What? He
drives around. Okay, I'll take the whole thing. I'll go all the way to the end. He drives around with his wife in the car, and they stop at their route is to go to every one of their stores once a week and pick up $1,000. They don't want nothing else but $1,000. So think about 100 stores. Your job is to get in the car every day, drive to 20 stores, pick up $1,000, 5 days a week. And think about the nail salons doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, Todd, how does this happen? Like, how do we get from the point of
Hans wants to be an economics major, and I'm thinking, will that help?
I think somebody got to be economics major because nobody gets it. All the people that make the plans, again, like, you think you think that the weed people didn't have an economist in the room? Do you think the weed people didn't have a demographics expert in the room? Like, who is the black pollster? Who's the black anything? And I know you're gonna say Chicago State, but
I was about to say, if I had my institute at Chicago State,
they'd be like, teach us how to win, Todd.
They would have sent that through them, and they would have called their business people and all that stuff. And
is that why you're being so nice? You still hoping that that's gonna happen? They not. Let me tell you, they not gonna fund. They are not gonna fund the education of the Negro. They will fund the miseducation of the Negro. But the education of the Negro, because
that one.
No, because I'm gonna tell you, black people would be mad. Like I'm saying, like I'm gonna tell you what I watched yesterday. I watched rage start to go across people's faces as they realized that there was no intersection.
I need you to kick me in the butt to write a commentary to try to get this done and see if I can get an op-ed in some newspapers and stuff.
You can get an op-ed. I can get you an op-ed.
Yeah.
I can get you an op-ed. It's
one thing I've learned is the best way to get somebody to do something is to start a fire under their feet.
You know what? But you still black, right? They gonna be like, they let a black person in the Tribune. They gonna be like, sell out. Then
I meant the black people are excited, not the white people.
The black people ain't gonna.
The white people are excited because they're thinking, man, maybe we can burn him.
Y'all, I don't know what in the world. Like everything is frozen in time. Look, y'all, we have got to do better, and I'm just gonna tell you, we cannot clap for BS. We have we got a clap track. It's like,
you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call Rodney and ask him how I should get this done.
Man, call him because he get it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, we have a clap track in the black community. We clap for BS. We clap for everything but ourselves.
Right.
I am genuinely bothered by what I saw yesterday. And I feel like the lack of outrage by black elected officials that their process has been hijacked. Right? It's like there's no, like Todd, nobody's mad. Like, where is the anger? Where is the
I think part of the problem is there's so many black people who always feel like, well, I can't put anything together anyway. So they don't get upset. I'm always saying, black people ought to put some money together. And I saw this thing, is it called a so-so? I think they do it in the Caribbean, where people put money together. But they tend to put money together because, some guy said, hey, give me some money and then we'll do this. And no, I'm saying, no, you put money together with people you know and trust. And
there you go. First of all,
you use lawyers and accountants. You don't just say, "Hey, Bob, you got the money."
Man, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Here's the thing about this process. We couldn't put our money together. Even if we wanted to put our money together, the system is written where you can put your money together, but you still can't get in. And let's be clear, there are people who put their money together to get these cannabis licenses.
Oh, well, I know there's people who have just been waiting for this minority participation part. I mean, they were, I don't know enough about this to say that it won't happen, but they were gung-ho that, there's going to be a time when a gate's going to open and they get to run in like running with the bulls.
Can I tell you what's happening to the black people who had to put their money to secure their land? They're still paying for those leases, like for the craft grows. So essentially, you had to lock down your land, so you got to pay.
So it's like flipping a house, and the longer you have it, the more money you have to pay.
And they're bleeding you out. So when the time comes for the capital call, you ain't got nothing. See how they did that? It's like the buying a house on a contract and then they take
what means when he says a capital call, it's like at the end of trading places when the dukes owed money. At the end of the day, they have to pay that money. If they don't, then they just take everything you got.
Right. And so all of that work, all of that hard blood, sweat, and tears comes out, and they take you, and then so they still get to use your name on the application. The white boys get the place, and you're gone because you bled out because you couldn't pay your money when it was time to pay for your license and your 50%. You see how you say "oh"? That's exactly how it sounds. That's probably exactly what the elected official said as they watched their people bleed out and get choked out. Look, y'all, when we come back, I want to know what is the cost, what is the actual price tag on integrity in Illinois? ComEd got away with paying $200 million to get to absolve themselves. I just saw.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I was watching part of that yesterday. I'm going to say that what the ComEd attorney was probably trying to say is that no, all that money that we got just didn't go to waste. It actually helped the system, and so that means it helped our customers.
And again, they're a for-profit company. I'm not just talking about ComEd. I'm talking about in general. What is the cost of integrity? Like right now, what does it take? No, do you realize nobody is still, the only people that have suggested that the speaker step down are in the Senate, with the exception of the person that they call crazy.
It's
Obviously,
always that
the
way
Senate.
too.
I got you, but like, at what point, like, how much do we have to pay for integrity in our government? Right? If I believe that the speaker and I believe elected officials should be held to a higher standard. We'll be back and we'll talk about it.
AM 1570 WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
I think
the
that
Maze Jackson Show will be back after this.
I think when the conversation, and I think it's bad. I think it's part of the reason there's a crisis in our country, which is why I think our democracy is going down, is because the hypocrisy is so blatant to everybody that it's like, why am I listening to you? Like, seriously. Like, you don't have a moral high ground at all. And it's like, to me, just every time somebody says if, right, and I'm not saying you got to call for the speaker. I know I have a thing. But, like, I think, like, what happened with the ComEd thing is just wrong. Like, and I think, again, what you gonna do? The answer is, what you gonna do about it? Nothing. And so guess what? It continues. And so if you don't see nothing wrong with the speaker, right? Like, I feel like if nobody sees anything wrong with the speaker and the way that his crew operates, then how the hell did you expect anything to happen with cannabis? Right? Like,
True.
If you can't see... Hold on, I'm sorry.
But I would say that from the, I didn't really talk to people. The person I talked to, they put all their trust in the governor. That this was going to work out for some...
Right, because the governor was buying... Because the governor was...
Sorry, I didn't understand.
I feel like they all put their trust in the governor because he was the new money in town. It's like they didn't even hold his ass accountable when he did the black stuff. Right? They could have jammed him and put themselves in a better position. When he got caught with the Blagojevich stuff, saying on the tape, nobody, like, the instant, there was not even a minute of anybody just being like, whoa. It's like it came out, and before he even addressed it, it was like a press conference of black people lined up to take the...
To say how much...
Right, and it's like, you know, and it's like, so, I'm not tripping, but what did he do for Alderman Burnett for standing up? I mean, because they was fumbling. At the press conference, fumbling. Burnett saved him, right? And the governor admitted it. But, again, we get lip service. Like Christian, Sean, like all the black people in the office, you don't hear no Latinos complaining because they slow and steady just taking their shit. They didn't fight. They not fighting over the cannabis because guess what? They got education.
Right.
They like, we got the biggest budget. We got the second biggest budget and we control the shit all the way up.
Well, isn't that why we didn't hear a peep out of Reverend Meeks for 4 years?
Right.
He was like, I don't need to say nothing.
I don't gotta say nothing. I got the biggest, and niggas MF'd him. He could have rebuilt Harvey School District. I mean, I would have been killing people. But again, It's like we accept less. Like, I'm telling you. Like, seriously.
No, I agree. We have become accustomed to getting less, so it's become ingrained in us. Hey, it's Billy Ocean of all people.
I used to love this song. In the hearts that beat as one, no more love on the run. When she steps in the room, sighted.
Never before.
I wasn't searching.
Furthest from my mind.
Bien Queen. Now we're sharing the same dream, and the hearts that beat as one. No more love on the run. Champion Queen. Woo! Now we're sharing the same dream, and the hearts that beat as one. No more love on the. You are listening to What's in it for the Black People Radio. I am your host, Maze Jackson. Y'all know I got to do at the top of the hour. Got to say what's up to the rest of the team. What's up to my man Todd Stroger in the building. Todd, you was rocking out the Billy Ocean. I could see you bopping down the street.
Billy Ocean had a really good career.
Billy Ocean, I like Billy Ocean. What was the other song he had?
But you know, the song
Champion Queen
that I like.
He was an ugly mug.
That was with the movie with Michael Douglas and Danny DeVito and Turner.
And they was dancing. That was like a fast song.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that was.
I like the movie a lot.
I like that one too, though.
And it's a slow song, that love song.
I
can't remember that. Right
when
now,
the going gets tough.
That's it.
The tough get going. When the going gets rough, the rough get tough. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, he had that. He had something else though.
He had a slow song. Suddenly. Woohoo!
Yeah, man, I'm gonna tell y'all. This is the main. Look, we gotta go back to the 80s, man. I'm gonna tell y'all. Do you remember when you was watching Channel 66? Remember when Channel 66 was all videos?
Oh,
or was
man.
it Channel 60? Remember when Channel 44 would come in and you get Spectrum Man?
Telemundo.
It wasn't Telemundo back then, though. Channel 44, you come home on Sunday, you get Spectrum Man, Ultraman.
Yeah, but
Godzilla.
I think Sonia's right. There was a period where after a certain hour,
it was broker time?
Yeah.
Sort of like us, right?
Yeah.
So y'all got to tune in to us, man. Y'all got to get y'all advertising up. Let's get this thing going. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host Todd Stroger. Ruthie Moore is out right now. Shout out to Sonia Escobar, the musical conductor. Because when the going gets tough, it was Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner. Have you seen her? Remember she was a sex symbol at the time?
Yes, she's a twin of herself because there's like two of her now.
Is it? Oh well, she was. She is definitely not a sex symbol anymore. You know who else used to be a sex symbol that is like a quadruple of herself?
Who's that?
Kirstie Alley.
Oh yeah, but that happened quick.
She goes up and down.
She wasn't afraid to say, "I like to eat."
Hold on.
Oh really?
You better get off of Janet. Oh, you know what?
It is real life.
Janet Jackson, if you're nasty. Janet, if you're hungry. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, Todd Stroger. Todd, how much does integrity cost in Illinois? Couple things. First of all, I am bothered by our government. I'll be honest with you. I have limited to no trust of what most elected officials say. I think this cannabis is an example. I think what happened with ComEd is an example. I think that when we look at what happened with AT&T, it will be another example. Because at the base of all of this are consumers who are also voters, who probably never recognize all of the things that it takes to make the sausage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not suggesting that every bit of sausage making is not right, but I am suggesting that there are some elements that we could do without. I think what ComEd has, and I don't know if they're pleading guilty. I think they're gonna plead not guilty. But ComEd is paying $200 million in restitution to the government. None of that will go back to us, but they're being sued as part of a class action suit. I was thinking about J.B. Pritzker and the removal of the toilets from his home. And I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it really does seem like a big deal to me. Right? I think of integrity as what you do, not when people are looking, but when you have the choice to do the right thing and you don't, and you cannot get caught.
No, right.
Regardless of who did it, the culture of your family, if the thought in your mind to avoid paying taxes is to go through the effort of pulling the toilets out of your multi-million-dollar mansion,
Mm-hmm.
to avoid $250,000, which is essentially a quarter to you, I gotta ask, where do your values lie? I think when I look at the Speaker of the House of Illinois, I hear a lot of if he did it, if they can catch him. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've heard anybody suggest that they don't think he did it. I think people are saying he's smart enough just not to get caught, which seems to be an admirable trait in Illinois politically. Like, I think, like, when people say don't bet against the speaker, it's like they double down on their loyalty and allegiance to essentially a criminal enterprise. And you can't prove it's a criminal enterprise, but you know it's there.
Well, we'll let the U.S. attorney.
Exactly. So even that, and this is my point. That's exactly my point. So named in a federal indictment, so named in the federal plea with ComEd is the Speaker of the House. It's not elected official. It's elected official A, Speaker of the House. So right. There's no question who we're talking about.
No, we know who we're talking about.
ComEd has already said we did this. Now, maybe they lying. I give it to you. Maybe they lying. But at what point do the citizens of Illinois deserve more? At what point does the integrity of the situation matter? I think about, let's say they get off. Like, nobody, well, I'm not going to say nobody's going to jail. But what we know.
Yeah, because I think somebody's going to jail.
Okay. Somebody's going to jail. I got you, Sonia. Oh, y'all, we're having technical difficulties. It's not on our side, and they need to give us a rebate on the call, so I know y'all want to call in. Studio is having some issues, not us. Our technicals are together because we got the bangingest studio ever. But Todd, I feel like my frustration is that what you just did.
What's that?
Well, we'll wait for the U.S. attorney, and I'm just going to say that.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, he's not guilty unless the U.S. attorney can prove it. I mean, I understand you're saying that you don't like the way business may be done, but guilt and all that stuff is done in the court.
I got you. And therein is my problem. What about us? So they took care of it at the court. What about the citizens of Illinois?
Well, see,
they're taking care of it.
This has always been my problem. We care about what's going on with Megan and the rest of those guys way too much. Now, if we cared about what was going on with us and worked with us, then every time we went to the plate, they'd have to say, "Uh-oh, here comes St. Aaron."
I got you.
But you know what they say? They say, "Here comes Miguel de Leon."
You know what they say?
You know who Miguel de Leon is?
Who?
See, that's my point.
Okay, well here's my point.
Uh-huh.
My point is that we can't get to the plate because we so busy defending the BS, right? Like, so
that's my point. We shouldn't even be talking about it. We don't care about what they do.
Clearly, we care about
if he's going to go to jail. What we should be doing is figure out how do we get what we need for our people.
Right now, you leverage. You leverage. You use weakness to your benefit.
I mean, you can deal with him and make him do what you want.
So I'm saying,
he has no choice. But we should have been doing that all the time.
But we haven't. So why do I trust anybody now?
I don't know.
Now, $200 million ComEd gets to pay. JB could pay $200,000. You can rob the bank and then you can pay it back. You can rob the bank.
When I needed something from the speaker, I'd call him and say, "Mr. Speaker, it wouldn't be anything big. It was just something I needed for somebody in my district."
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say, "I need this." And I would say nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And it was up to him to say, "I'll call you back," or "I'm not going to do it." And if he never really said, "I'm not going to do it," because, I didn't ask him for the world. But my point is, you say what you want to people in power, and you dare them to say, "I'm not going to do it for you."
So what happened with cannabis?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what them people were doing.
And so all I'm suggesting is, right now, either we need term limits, because their mentality is to 1 for me, 2 for me, 1 for you, 6 for me, 2 for you, 12 for me.
But I will say, when they built the stadium, not the stadium, what they call that thing, Soldier Field, we did it. We had a board. Charles Morrow, Lou Jones, and I were on it. And, we felt our job was to make sure that black people were involved. And Charles was the chairman, I want to say. And he did a good job. And I would probably say, and I could be wrong, I'd have to ask Charles, that when he lost his race, no one reached out and said, "Charles, how can we make sure that your 3 kids eat?"
And I'm going to say, child, and that's generally how it works. Because they tell you, if you go help Charles, we're going to cut your throat. That's how they do it. And again,
and that's where black people are supposed to stick together.
If you only,
this throat's going to have to cut all our throats.
They'd be like,
and we're going to make it public.
They'd be like, and again, when does that ever happen?
I'm saying that's the weakness of the group.
I agree. All right, so here's me. I feel like, how much does integrity cost? How much can you pay for it? Like, when do we say enough is enough? I think that we have seen that no matter what the issue, no matter what the subject, they will win, they will eat, you will starve. This ComEd situation, right now, the fact that there is nobody speaking up, like, how does ComEd make it right with the people?
I don't know.
How does the Illinois General Assembly?
I take that back. That's what I said earlier. ComEd's argument will be that we spent the money on improvements and you are getting better service because of it.
You need.
Now, we may have gone about it the wrong way, but we got done what needed to be done. That's what they're going to say.
And that's exactly what the speaker says. And that's exactly what every dictator says. And I think,
no, but for the speaker it'll be different because he can't say that.
He'll say, I did what was best to get it done. He'll say, I didn't touch it. I just think this, guys. I think we allow people the easy path out. Right? I think if you're black and this is you on the wall. You on the wall. We don't
allow the easy. The media allows it. They don't.
Todd, right now you're defending the speaker.
I'm not defending the
You're Todd, right now you're defending.
No, you hate the speaker, so you always say I'm defending the speaker. No, I don't care about the speaker. What I care about is what are the black folks doing. I don't care what the speaker's doing. Like I say all the time, that man on Pulaski, he couldn't beat me at 85th and College. I didn't care about him.
He beat you in Cook County.
No, he didn't beat me. You know, the white folks that beat me were your progressive buddies.
My progressive? I don't have any progressive buddies.
I know, but I wanted to say something bad about you.
All I'm suggesting is, again, I feel like, again, we just don't do politics, right? Like, I feel like we're arguing against our own self-interest right now. So this is all I'm going to say, right? So you got a multi-billion-dollar company who got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. They paid their $200 million to the federal government, and then they came back to the neighborhood and said, y'all should be happy that we did the stuff even though we didn't. Instead of saying, man, y'all did that and we trusted y'all.
This is not over yet.
But hold on. But if when we do the segment that says how do we hold them accountable and get integrity, and how do they make it right with the people, and you give their argument, right?
Well,
if we hold
me giving their argument.
You already gave it, right? So how does the speaker?
I don't have any power.
But I'm saying you
do
have power.
I'm saying this is the argument that this is already started. They already had an attorney talk, and this is the argument he was given.
I'm suggesting that there's going to be white lawyers who let me just break this down.
He was a lawyer and he was white.
Hold on, but there's a white lawyer that's filing a class action lawsuit, right? Just hear me out.
I'm listening.
Because he's filing the class action lawsuit because he says the $200 million ain't enough. You got to make it right with the people. Now, regardless of...
He wants the comment to pay the customers something. Yes.
Because now, he wants reparations. Okay? Now, I'm suggesting that ComEd right now has a public affairs crisis on their hands. They do. It would behoove them to create some positive goodwill. It would behoove us not to fight against them having to create positive goodwill. Right now, the speaker, while we care nothing about what he does, we all agree that his leadership has not helped black people. Now, black people ain't helped themselves in the process, but that's because they scared. So, at a time of vulnerability, instead of arguing against why we shouldn't put him on the cross, we should have a lynch mob saying, put him on the cross, and then somebody like you says, I could talk to him, but they really want to put you on the cross.
Yeah, but there's one more thing you got to have, though.
Go ahead.
You got to have a plan. What do you want while he's on? While you're trying to drive the nails in, or at least tell him that you are.
I mean, I think
what do you get out?
In my estimation, I want a rewrite on this cannabis bill. I want the House Bill 4685 pulled. I want a special session that deals with the Marshall Plan for the black community. I mean, I got a list. Don't trip.
Well, you got to get either...
No, I got to get black people to stop arguing against our self-interest.
You got to either get the governor or, what's the other one side? Harmon to agree too.
And so
I mean, to get like special legislation.
Here's what I'm suggesting. That's part of how we make them make it good. But
See,
if we argue,
that's one of the things I never liked is everyone wants to make Madigan into some kind of god. Man, he's just a man like us.
No, first of all, I'm not making him a god. I mean, I like, let's just be clear. I've been to battle. Still living a battle. Right? If it wasn't for social and digital, I probably would be one of those stories on the side of the road.
Every day I drive at 45 miles an hour, I'm under battle.
So
I don't think so, Randy.
but guys, like right now, how does the Illinois General Assembly make it right for black folks for allowing us to get screwed in this cannabis thing?
Well, first, and I can't say they haven't done. First thing that they get together, they have a meeting and they say, "Hey man, we got screwed. We got to do something."
But see, oftentimes the premise is they get together to circle the wagons to protect. See, to call this out means that you got to call the system out. right? You either got to admit you made a mistake or you got screwed, right? Nobody's gonna want to admit they made a mistake.
Every once in a while you gotta say mea culpa.
However, right? What you say, the way it works in our community is, I tried though, but I tried.
Hey, look, I don't know. All I'm saying, is in this case, you gotta say, you know what? They got us, but we're not gonna let.
No, Todd, it's hard to say that when you've been running around telling everybody you passed the most equitable bill in the whole country, right? When you quote the Wall Street again, when you quoting the white folks telling you how great you are, right? And I'm telling you now,
how bad can you look at?
Let me tell you though, the white folks. Let me tell you right now, the white folks are doubling down on the black legislators, telling them how much of a champion they are, because they going to get rich, and I would hate to think that somebody black willfully allowed this to happen, right? So I was watching a lot of the progression yesterday, and it was very clear to me that if you are a vociferous Negro or crafty, you can weave your way into these things just for them to shut you up, right?
I think there's a lot of that is going on in the last 40 years. I'm
concerned that perhaps some of our members of the Black Caucus were aware. I think the silence on this makes me think of people being complicit. Like the fact, have we heard anybody black as an elected official besides the city council? The people who voted on this. The people who actually had a vote on this. The mayor lied to us. She told us she was going to go back to Springfield and get it. She also told us she was going to put a rope around downtown. Then we find out that the cannabis office is staffed by people who, they only got one black person, the legal team. One black girl.
The guy who tasted.
No, it's the black girl, and she can't, and she don't get to talk about the weed stuff.
Oh.
She don't get to talk about the weed stuff. And then you know what their idea of diversity is?
What?
Gays and women.
Oh.
So they're moving the Lisa Madigan staff. You know how that worked. They're moving over, and they've now taken over the cannabis. We don't have a voice. Nobody's talking about it, right? No, and I feel like the cannabis, the black elected officials aren't talking about it because they hope that it doesn't get bigger, right? They hope, because the news ain't covering black people being disenfranchised. They like that ain't news.
Yeah, that ain't news. That's not news.
That's part of the plan.
Right.
So what they hope is that nobody will talk about it. Nobody will, and then what they will do is vilify me for saying, y'all, we're getting screwed. There's got to be a point when you can no longer participate in the screwing. Your name, brands, and reputations are on the line. But I think, again, Todd, this isn't, when you say why don't people get involved? Because they get involved as the pawns. Remember when I was telling y'all about all these new groups that had never been to Springfield, and they was loading up buses and going down, and they was championing all the big equity, because they picked all the Negroes that there was a reason we weren't in any of the press conferences. It is. It's a reason why people said we pushed the envelope, but we were never invited to any press conference. Right? And they picked legislative rookies, people who don't understand the process, to put them up as the props. So think about the pictures of cannabis in Illinois was all black people.
Hey, I got a quick question for you.
And then we'll go to
do you think that the Black Caucus as a unit is a detriment or a help? Is it easier to hide under that title, or would it be if they didn't get to say, well, the Black Caucus said, then you could point and say, see that guy right there? He should have done that because he was there.
I think there is a circle the wagons, but if you were to ever listen to the black legislators talk, there's tiers of people, right? There's the black legislators who kind of believe in the Black Caucus. Then there's the Black legislators who be like, man, if I want to be successful, stay away from the Black Caucus. I always remember they told, I ain't going to name the name, but there was a big, a huge Black elected official who is probably one of the most popular people ever. And the first thing he said was, stay away from, if you want to be successful, stay away from the Black Caucus. And
it's like telling Black athletes don't go in the South or the West Side.
Or when you get to school, when you come to college, you make your focus athletics, not stay away from all that Black stuff.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, the people who are the least Black get the most reward. But they are the first people to use the Black Caucus as cover.
I hate to drop other people's names, but would you say that, isn't that what kind of what one of our friends was saying about one of the Bears linebackers?
Yes.
Yeah.
yes. So y'all, I'm just gonna tell you, the cost of integrity, like Todd, everybody gets a choice. I'm gonna tell you that the lobby, this is what's gonna make my stomach hurt. All of the lobbyists that were involved in writing these bills that kicked us out will be welcomed by the same Black legislators who know they wrote the bills. Think about that. They'll be mad at us for talking about it, but they won't be mad. Let me ask a question. Do you think when the speaker and his staff and they analyzed the bill, they was like, this is going to help Black people?
You know what no. You know what I say?
What did you say?
Is everything is lost if you don't force the right people in the room.
And again,
like they should have said, I mean, this is a guy I put a lot of faith in. If Paul Williams isn't there with you, when I'm not there, then we're not on board.
See, the challenge is that the speaker and those guys, with the help of your guy, kind of tried to emasculate Paul. So Paul has the understanding of what it was like when, think about this, there was a time in Springfield when the Black legislators, when they didn't get what they wanted, literally wore black and white jail suits and came with balls and chains and showed up and was on the front page. That's how they was standing on Black stuff. The Paul Williamses of the world have been put up as who not to be like in Springfield if you want to be successful. I love Paul to death. Don't get me. Paul did make, let me tell you about it. Come on here, right? I love Paul.
Yeah.
Right? I love Paul and I love Irma. Paul was my rock when I was the executive director of the Black Caucus Foundation. But I watched as his vociferousness on Black issues got him kicked to the curb. Right? And oftentimes what you found was Paul had love on the fact that he was an elder statesman, Paul.
Right.
But I'll never forget when ComEd fired him and they sent the Negro to do it. And the Negro was happy to take the sword and chop him. That's your boy. But he used that same sword on you too, though. But I'll let that go. Hey, y'all, we'll be back after these messages. Man, he told Mike McClain, I slapped them glasses off your cross-eyed ass. And you know Mike McClain was obviously like Jesus Christ down there.
Yeah.
Cut your nigger friend. And it's like, nah, man. Like, it can't be Paul. Paul had his fucking hair. It's got to be somebody who got, like, they can just cut Paul off.
Okay, who is that?
I don't know. That's my point, Todd.
But my point is, you make Paul. It's got to be Paul because you said it.
Not me.
No, I don't mean you.
Right.
I'm at the caucus.
But the caucus don't even make no Black fucking lobbies.
I mean, just like on the other side, when Madigan sends somebody, they don't say, go back and tell Madigan to send somebody else. You know what I mean?
Right, but we do. We do, Todd. You gotta understand that's what, like, again, it's like you drive me a little batty on these conversations only because think about Mike Carbonargi. Like, think about
basically you're saying I'm saying this is what should happen, but this is reality.
Right. It's like you're talking about the world as we would like it to be. If I trained you as a fucking slave, if I made you walk up them back fucking steps to be here.
But I'm guessing, most of these guys, they don't know nothing when they get there. They have no idea what
That's my
be.
point. And so then they become educated by, and the education process is do whatever he say. I know people that get sent to Springfield. Your boy got sent to Springfield and was told, do whatever he said.
No, like my dad said, stick with the caucus.
So, having been the executive director of the caucus,
sometimes that doesn't always work for you, though.
No, the caucus is whoever wants to be in charge of it at the time, right? So think about it. Donnie was mad at somebody, so then he got Ken put in. Right, but then he got Ken put in, and then he got mad at Ken, and then orchestrated something, and they use all the technical shit, and it's like, nah, dog. It's like, I am at the point where I don't know if it's worthwhile for us to support black elected officials. Like, I mean, here's what I'm saying.
Who is gonna do what
Todd,
you need?
Who's doing what we need now? No, and here's what I'm gonna say.
But who's gonna do it though?
I'm saying that if you have a white,
isn't that what you were talking about with the Roosevelt Group? The problem?
Well, if you
people have acquiesced their power to them.
White, if you have a white, but there's different with the Roosevelt Group because they're behind the scenes. If you're a public official and you got to get elected, right? Then you pander, right? And if you got white folks, then you know you got them. But what do I do with the black people, right? A white boy coming over to the black folks is gonna try to deliver because he know they'll turn on his ass any minute, just like the black dude does. The black dude says, "I ain't got to worry about the black people. I got to worry about the white people flipping on me." And imagine the fear. There's no fear on any side, right? You keep us trapped. So we gotta elect black elected officials. I'm really getting to the point where I don't think that the election of a black elected official is important to us. I don't. I'll tell
you another thing I think that hurts us as black people is when the Democrats won the map. Once they got their map spread us all over the world.
Right.
When I ran, I was on the Republican map, and I was in a compact district.
Right, exactly. And then that's how they keep you in control, because now they stretch your district all the way downtown, and they keep you scared of the white people, so you stay away from the black shit.
Man, when I found out Connie was like in Shanahan, like Shanahan.
Think about. They got 4 districts that run along the lake, and they go long. So you got a 4-block radius at one point. Just trying to get to and we're so scared of dropping below the 50% number.
Right.
Instead of saying, I don't know if I would be opposed to a computer drawing the map. Right? And I'm saying,
well, now that the state is what it's like, I'm not sure if the Democrats couldn't win. It's always the Senate that's always the hard part.
oh good. So ready. You are listening to What's in Front of Black People Radio live on WBGX 1570 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Todd, I want to tell everybody they can catch us on YouTube live. They can also go to the Maze Jackson page channel on YouTube. You can watch us on Facebook Live, the Maze Jackson page, or Maze Jackson on Facebook, as well as download the TuneIn app on the Google Play Store or the App Store. And you can see us live, listen live, and don't forget you can tune in always on that 1570 on your dial. Todd, I don't know if did you see the article in the Chicago Tribune? The throttling, I called it the throttling of Black Chicago. They were talking about all of the factors that still play out in Chicago that keep us at the bottom of the run.
Yes.
I thought it was a very, very good article. I'm gonna point out some of the things that I'm gonna give you some of the stats that we were talking about. I'm gonna actually try and get these young ladies on the show. All right. So, okay. So let me give you some of the things that some impacts of disinvestment limits our opportunities. They talked about blacks and Latinos. I'm going to read some of the points that exist right now because I think it all plays to our, again, black elected officials and the problems that we need to address. Hey, Todd, did you know that the percent of majority white, majority black, and majority Hispanic schools with increasing enrollment since 2014, 72% of white schools are majority white are growing. On the 23% of Latinos, blacks are last in school growth. The percentage of adults with a bachelor's degree in Chicago educationally, 63.9% of whites have a college bachelor's degree.
That's a lot of people.
Black people, 21.2%.
That's not a lot of people.
Hispanics, 16.5%, but they're growing. You know, at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, when I went there was 1,000 blacks and 500 Latinos. Guess what now? It's 1,000 Latinos and 500 blacks.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a turn.
Mm-hmm. That's a big turn. Let's talk about, I just did education, right? Let's talk about unemployed. 3.8% of whites in Chicago are unemployed. 8.7% of Latinos are unemployed. How much you think blacks are?
15.3.
You suck. You read the paper. 15.3. Think about that though. Twice the amount of Latinos are. Blacks are double.
Right.
Double the unemployment of Latinos.
That's wild.
Right. Think about this though. Whites have a less than 4% unemployment rate. Like.
Man, talking about the favorite group. Holy. I take the less than 4% of just about anything I do.
Right. I mean, that's okay. Let's talk about this one. Let me see if I can get food and transportation. So here we go. 14. Okay, so let's talk about access to healthy foods. That's a big topic, right?
It is a big topic.
Did you know that only 14% of white people have limited access to healthy foods? Check this out.
Where they live.
Probably in the black neighborhood.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The Hispanics are even lower than the whites.
Really?
Only 12% of the Latinos. That's because they own all them damn markets.
You're right.
They got fruterias and I don't know what it is. They got bodegas, fruterias. They got the trucks. You drive down Damon, Joe. You pull over at Damon and whatever that is, they got a straight fruit stand out there. I'll be like, do y'all got a permit for this? Because, y'all done took the whole damn corn over. And then check this out. So, whites and Latinos combined are still less than 31.7% of black people do not have access to healthy food.
That's a lot of people.
31%, that's 1/3 of our population. I was going to school on hot Cheetos and that beef that ain't really beef that they use to make the nachos at the corner store.
Hmm.
Let's talk about, oh my God. Let's talk about food stamps. Let's talk about the percentage in Chicago of food stamp recipients. Ready?
Ready.
10.6% of white Chicagoans receive food stamps. 23.3% of Latinos receive food stamps. Y'all ready for this one?
I heard that, Sonia.
What you say? What she say?
We're not repeating that.
Check this out. Okay. Whites, 10.6%. Let's say 11. Blacks, Latinos, 23% are on food stamps. Are you ready for this number? 60.3% of black Chicagoans receive food stamps.
That's everybody, except for me and you. That's pretty much. That's a lot of people.
6 out of 10 people receive food stamps.
Holy moly! Well, now I need to check and see if I qualify. Jeez. There you go.
All right, now let's go to the business ownership. 72.9% of the businesses are owned by white people. 7.3% of the businesses are owned by Latinos. How much you think black people?
Well, there's you.
Yeah, they trying to run me out of business because I tell the truth. You got a lie to get. You want the bag, you can't tell too much truth.
3.5.
Nope. Sonia said 5.3. Nope. 2.1.
Dang.
2.1%. I'm gonna throw that away because I'm not gonna talk about that no more.
They take
All right.
about that'd be like 1 point something.
Let's talk about percentage of uninsured, right? 17% of white folks are uninsured.
We're talking healthcare here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this one we're not last in. 47.2% of Latinos are uninsured. 29.3% of blacks are uninsured. Let me tell you something.
I think that's because Latinos have a lot of jobs like cutting grass that's not going to get you insurance and it's not going to pay for it either.
Right, man. I seen they get in that cash business they can send back. I seen a Latino dude though fall off the roof and stand back up and get back to work.
He's like, hey,
man,
can't afford to miss a day.
Brothers be like, hey, dog, it's hot out here.
Yeah.
It's hot out here, man.
Now, we had a guy I told you cutting grass, and he was like, it's too hot. I'm leaving.
Check this out. Preventable hospitalizations per 10,000 people. 112 white people per 10,000 go to the hospital. That would be preventable. 170 Latinos. 300 black people go to the hospital for preventable issues. Ready for life expectancy? Okay. White people live the longest. They live to 80. Hispanics live next longest. They live to 79. And then black people live the last. They live to 71.
What?
That's like 9 years.
That's long. That's almost a decade.
9 years for being black.
You know what I can do in a decade?
Yeah, man. You could be a county board president twice.
Twice. Yeah.
Well, I'm throwing all these off because they're really frustrating. All right. Let's talk about this one. Percentage of housing units owned occupied by a renter. 34.6% of white people rent. 20.6% of Latinos rent. 35.8% of black people rent. Now, I would tell you that the white rental is because that's the trend.
It is.
Like, they're moving to rentals because of economic trend. Black people are renting because they can't get no dang on home loan.
Right.
Right? And to go to that, check this out. Home loans. Let's talk about the percentage of people that were approved for first-time home loans. 78.7% of white people were approved for their first-time home loan. How many you think in black?
Let's see, 78, 12.4.
You suck. It's 11.8.
Oh, darn it, I'm off.
11 point. Think about that.
No, you know why I remember that? Because I was thinking, this is like 8 times.
It's 8 times. 8 times more white people get approved on it. And, you know, that's because their parents give them their home loan. Right, black
Right,
folks.
right.
Black folks be like, they be like, man, I can afford it. How much is the payment? This is how black folks do. How much is the payment? Oh, $3,000, $4,000. I can take that.
Right.
Then they be like, but you need 10% down. You mean I need $40,000 cash?
Yeah, right.
$40,000 cash in a lot of cases might as well be like $1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you getting that from? And the white people be like, why you don't just ask your parents?
Exactly.
When my daughter come home talking about she need to borrow $50,000 for a home, I'll be like, you need to marry up. Let's talk about median home income. Median household income. Adults over 18 in Chicago. This is crazy. The median income for white people is $88,381.
What is this? I'm sorry. Is this
median income?
No, I mean, is this our city, our county, our
City?
Okay.
88,380. The average white person makes $88,000.
Mm-hmm.
Man, do you understand? When I was 29, I just wanted to make $30,000 before I was 30. These punks starting with 88,000. Okay.
How much were you making when you were 18?
Huh? When I was in college. I was making McDonald's.
Okay, 17.
Money. I was probably making about 20-something thousand a year, cause I was working full time at Burger King and McDonald's.
That's a lot of money when you're like a kid.
Oh yeah, people thought I was
rich.
I was, and then I flipped it.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. I told you we had that drive-through cracking, boy. Check this out. Median income for white people, $88,381. Median income for Hispanics, $48,211. Median income for black people, $33,769.
Wow.
I don't know what you can do with $33,769 if you have a family.
You can rent a house.
Can you?
That's about it.
What do you use to heat it?
Coal.
No, and then you feed it with those food stamps.
Dirty coal. Yeah, right. You feed the food stamp. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the percentage of families living below the poverty level. Okay. White people in Chicago, 4%. Latinos, 14.6%. Blacks, 23.6%. Now, let's be clear. 1 in 4 black people that you see lives beneath the poverty level. 1 in 4. 1 in 4. So I give you all of those statistics, and then
You're like in my neighborhood. There's a lot of old people. They're living off of somebody's pension and Social Security.
and they rental properties because they was
Because a lot of my some of them are rich. They just don't. I just don't know.
The millionaires next door. Your neighborhood was the people who were middle class, had pensions, but they probably also were school teachers and all type of stuff. They got investments. You gotta watch them school teachers. Them pensions be going crazy.
But why was I saying that? Darn it. See, Mace, you can't be sidetracked.
You've been hanging out with my cousin. So Todd, this is what I read those numbers to you though contextually.
Oh, I was gonna say that a lot of their houses are already paid for.
Right.
Yeah.
But then their property taxes go up and their income doesn't.
No, because they live in black neighborhoods.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so we creep.
So until the white folks decide they want to come.
I went to the lower end
Uh-huh.
to drive by where our old family house used to be,
Uh-huh.
and I saw a white lady walking a dog. She was in shorts, and I was like, "Yeah, this ain't the old neighborhood."
And I'm telling you, they're moving. They're taking over all places. Like the housing stock in Pill Hill is nice for middle class like families. If you go over there,
Our family house was my grandmother, my grandfather's house.
Was it a mansion?
It was a Greystone. Yeah.
Where's it at?
It's not there anymore. 41st and
dog. That whole thing is over. Anything to the 50s, you done. Yeah, the white folks building up all over. They building mansions, everything. Real quick though, you may ask, why did I go through all of those numbers and all of those stats? When you hear that 1 in 4 black people, check this out, y'all. 1 in 4 black people are in poverty. when you look at the median income, and we are $15,000 a year behind the Latinos. And then you read every stat, we were pretty much last.
Yeah.
And then to know that a multi-billion-dollar industry came to Illinois. And we know those stats. And we wrote ourselves out of it. So we was last in every race with the exception of one. And then we gave the white guys the head start again. There's something sick about this. I can't quite put my finger on it. But there's something not wrong with this picture. Now, I'm going to ask you realistically. You asked the question earlier about the Black Caucus, but I'm really starting to feel like it may not be beneficial for black people to elect black elected officials. I say that only because even at, and I wish I had my Remdesivir clip, but even as we have watched ourselves be systematically disenfranchised in this government, right? Like with these are all the people that we walk around, Todd, and we act like it's all. How do we stop this? Like I don't know.
Noise, uprising. You know, I don't believe in burning things, but I mean like op-eds.
But if you never have a competitor, right? Because remember.
Okay, organize and run somebody against with the theme. We are going to get ours, or whatever that is going to be. What's in it for the black people? We'll use that.
Let me ask you. Who is on our side? Like,
I'm on your side.
What black elect? Y'all, do y'all understand?
Even somebody who was powerful. I don't know.
Do we even have powerful people?
No.
Do we have any powerful black politicians? Like somebody that makes people fearful? Somebody that's like we can't allow that. We don't want him to be mad. Because I'm going to tell you see, Todd.
You know what I would say? You have to believe. Let's go to basketball, my go-to when I'm in trouble. So
when you play my son, you're going to be in trouble. Go ahead.
I have no doubt, actually.
You saw them handles. Go ahead.
No, I just know that I'm old, slow, and never was that powerful. I remember when I got my team, my intramural team. It wasn't intramural, but it was at the club. And I chose a team, and I was going to be the point guard. And I never played really organized basketball, so I asked Tony Jackson, I was like, I'm going to bring the ball down. Tony, what advice do you have? And he said, believe in yourself. Believe that you can bring it down. That's the first thing.
So that's kind of how we got screwed on this weed thing. Somebody said, believe in yourself. And the white lobbyist said, okay, come here, let me help you show you what to believe. Right?
No, because on the court, it was just me and the ball.
Right. But on our court, it's us and all of the black folks. And I'm just saying.
And that's where, and that goes back to my Paul Williams. That's when you have your Paul Williams, whoever their Paul Williams would be.
Who is a powerful, but like, do you
I
think?
don't know.
I'm just saying, who inspires fear?
Knowledge is power. You know why they wouldn't like Paul? Because Paul knows a lot, just like you said.
Right, but then
and that's why you keep them close.
And if they put the Negroes to go kill Paul, right? Because they say, go kill that black man because he talking too much education. He got y'all reading.
It's like keeping me close. I got nothing to lose. I got a pension.
I heard that. All right, y'all. Well, look, on that note, we got to get out of here because the time has run out. So, for Miss Sonia Escobar, the musical conductor of the Soul Plane, for my co-host, Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day. Now, Ty, don't take it off because we're going to have a little post show today. For those...
Now
we're
having a post show.
And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace. Thank you. All right.
Even though I'll still school your kid because I am me.
He got them handles. You saw them handles on that Facebook page. That was all.
There is nobody at the East Main Club, I don't think, except for Mark Cheeks, maybe, who was a guard type, who I didn't steal the ball from at least once.
Okay. I mean, that's all good. You gonna get you a steal.
Mark Cheeks if he came in the same room I was in, I'd drop the ball.
So Todd, I know that you don't. I know that. So I want to have this Madigan conversation just off the air, where we're not necessarily. But I don't think that Madigan is the end all be all. But I think he has a level of fear.
Keep the velvet.
The Velvet Hammer.
Thank you, hammer.
But he has created a level of fear that is detrimental to has been detrimental, and I don't think that you will. You say, why are you worried about what they doing? Because the second you get together, is 3 black people that have hitched a star to him. That's like right now.
I agree with you there.
Here's what's happening right now.
Hey, if 3 black people get together, that's a gang.
Right. Todd, I think. Hold on. Which camera set? That's the 2. Is it?
That's it.
Yeah, that's a better angle. All right.
I told you my Gary Larson, one of my favorites, because he's got a lot. Cartoon is where the cows are standing talking, and one of the cows says, "We don't have to be cows."
So I feel like we got this thing going where we don't want to. I think you got to start somewhere, and I feel like you take a whack at dude while he's weak. Now I know everybody's scared, but again,
I don't care about taking away. I mean, I'm not against that. I don't think standing up and saying he's a racist helps, because I think that's such a code word for white people that
it pushes them off the ledge. I think right now, I think we're in a unique time, because right now, being a racist is what got Christopher Columbus pulled off. I feel like we could set a match, right? And be like, go over there. If you're on a witch hunt, let's start giving you some witches to hunt, right? And you ain't got, and it's not.
I'm not totally against that, but you have
I think it's be layered, right? I think I'm the one saying he's a racist.
No, I mean, I get the strategy, but I think you also, because, I believe you got to have some facts down. You got to bring something to the table that said, and this is why.
Oh, I believe that, though. I think there's a very clear history. I mean, I think you could just tie all of the legislation together, you could just start with UNO, right? And you could start with the fact that he buried that school in the budget. I think there's plenty of facts, right, that go along with that, even from him crossing Jesse White, right, who's the Democratic nominee to go to Tim McCarthy, right? You got his history from day one.
Tim McCarthy on...
Yeah.
He was actually good. He said some smart stuff.
I mean, I think he's a smart guy, right? I mean, it's just, I feel like we've never been us first. And that's what I'm saying. If I know that you have that nothing is off limits in battle, then I'm thinking about you, right? The things that Madigan did to strike fear in the hearts of motherfuckers, nobody would even think to do that, right? Really, y'all gonna think about the fact that some white boys got in a room and said, we gonna put some niggas on some commercials and call a black man a sellout. And black people gonna go with it.
No, that ain't nothing new.
But again,
when Howard ran for state's attorney, what they do, they bought some time on VON, and they had some black woman say, "You hear about that, Brookins? He don't pay his child support." Howard was through.
Yeah. But he should have. I think he could have handled that a little differently, and he could have been proactive with that. I remember that race. I just think that you gotta slay a giant, right? You gotta slay somebody. You gotta, as long as we keep getting bent over on everything, and it's the black elected officials, right now, they're going to circle the wagons to protect their members, not the black people. So nobody's going to admit that this bill is fucked up, because it would mean that they all voted on some fucked up shit, and they ran around the whole country patting themselves on the back.
Well, it's more, yeah, it's more of, we had two people in the room, and they've been touted as the greatest leaders since sliced bread, and this is the finished product, and
It says
It
the
tastes like-
cake fell.
tastes like sourdough.
Yeah.
I can't stand sourdough.
And it's like, sitting in that meeting yesterday, like, I was so close to saying I would run for office just because I can't take it no more. But I don't want to run for office. I really wish I could move. Like, honestly, I wish that I could move.
You go to Atlanta?
No, I mean, I would go to Houston. I feel like I could go anywhere and be successful, right? Like,
You did hear Roddy say that Houston, the reason they have those Democratic votes is because of the
sweep.
Hispanics.
I'm not tripping. Like, their shit works though. I seen it, right? They ain't, the Hispanics and the blacks ain't what, like, we got a whole different type of thing going on here.
Oh, we do.
Right? And it's like I almost feel choked. Like, I mean, I enjoy doing the radio and stuff like that, but I feel choked here. Like, I feel like I have no real opportunity to reach my full potential in the space that I love.
This is kind of like the definition of institutional racism. There's a lot of things set in place to make sure that you can't get to the top.
Like, man, it's frustrating being a black man here. It is for me. And it's like, it's frustrating for me.
I'm guessing it's frustrating being a black man just about all over the nation, though.
I agree with that. I feel like it's particularly frustrating for me because of what I love, which is politics.
Right.
There is a mental glass ceiling, a literal glass ceiling, and you're punished for your knowledge. Right? Like, for white folks, they see you as dangerous, and for black folks, you become a threat as compared to an asset. And to see them running the plays, to know the plays that they're running, to be like, y'all, we could not run, this is how we could beat this play. And to not be able to get it on the field that will help all of us is crazy to me. Like, I think about, and I don't, so the challenge for me is that, like, in talking about this politics too, I gotta be careful, because I don't want people thinking like he's trying to be arrogant or whatever. I just honestly believe that in a lot of places there just haven't been black people in those spaces.
You remember what Rodney said about the addition? I think you're right about at least downstate, they're not really addition type people. They're like, it's me.
And
that's it.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I love what's in it for the black people, but I don't want to die fighting just to get, like, I feel like I'm punished almost for speaking, like, for being like, this shit ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't necessarily feel like I want to die in this fight. Like, at some point I want to fucking enjoy my life. Like, I'm not saying I don't enjoy my life, don't get it wrong, don't get me twisted,
right?
But at some point it's like, I would like to get my gaming license or get my whatever and be able to do good from a wealthy perspective.
Right.
I watch as black elected officials get taught how to spin our shit, to talk to people. Like, you watch them, like, the white people have studied us, and so they know what we're going to respond to, and they teach them how to deflect. Then you go to this freaking meeting last night, and it's like everything that I feel like I said on the radio show that was gonna happen happened. Mm-hmm. And I remember, like, black organizations running up, jumping up and down, talking about they supported the bill, and if you wasn't lobbying on it, you don't know what's going on, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, kids, do y'all understand this? Y'all first time at the rodeo, you don't get it, and it's like they're using you as pawns. And now here we are, right back at that spot.
Right.
And I'm telling you that just like Madigan and them knew exactly what was going on with the ComEd shit.
Mm-hmm.
He might not have been, but he put the people to make sure that they people were straight on the cannabis stuff.
Oh yeah.
And
of course.
And so as we run into these roadblocks, right? They rolled us out. They rolled us two sisters out. So again, I stopped talking about the shit because I don't want to throw the sisters under the bus.
Yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it?
And then it's like now we getting fucked, and if you say something, the sisters are like, man, we tried. And now it's like it's the college try, but it's like we just read this list that y'all gave them a head start again.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's an opportunity for smart black people that are independent thinkers. Right? Like, even my tightest people almost concede that they can't do shit. Like, it's like some days doing this show is good, some days it's just like watching that shit yesterday, honestly, I felt like they just need to put some people in the trunk. Like, no, I know that sounds crazy, but I feel like there's no tangible benefit for working with these people. Like,
hey, look, this is my thought. I was thinking about this earlier. The first thing is, you can't save everybody. I know that for a fact.
Right. But they ain't saved nobody, Todd.
Oh no, well yeah.
That my point is nobody.
I'm talking about you now.
Okay.
You can't save everybody. Two, no matter what you do, everybody's not going to be in your group. Even if you did save them, they still be like, shit, that damn maze. I would say, for a man of your talents, being the spook by the door, even though not your little old, your big old ghost, is probably a little more, well, actually, difficult. The spook by the door. Did you read that book?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is your better play. You get something, you make a ton of money off of it, and you be like, Mr. Higginbottom, do what the hell you want.
Well, that's the play that I want to make, right? But again, come in. Come in.
I'm coming.
Oh. Hey.
Hey, Todd, how are you? I'm good.
Auntie Neil, come on in.
Hi.
Auntie Neil's on the camera. You stand right there. They can see you.
Hi. No, they can't see me.
Yeah, they can right here. They'll see you right. I'm looking at you on the thing. It's a delay.
Oh, this is nice.
May used to tell you I don't have much of a filter.
Who?
You gotta quit smoking.
Who? Me?
You're not smoking?
No.
Oh
my
smells
God.
like smoke.
No.
I'm very sensitive to it. When I'm in a car, I can smell it when the other guy across
It could be left over from the weekend with cigars.
Oh, you want a cigar?
It could be one of those.
Oh.
From time to time. Reagan made pickles.
Oh, okay.
And I
Good.
made pickles. Brandon, who's been messaging all morning.
Brandon.
Bleak.
Uh-huh.
Ordered stuff from him.
You ordered stuff from him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he needs you to do the thing. Promote.
Okay.
Except for you and Carrie.
Okay. Oh, masks?
Masks, aprons,
Okay.
and pickles.
Oh, we're going to market the pickles.
Do you have
too.
on shorts?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep, I have on shots.
I didn't even notice that. But your shorts are short.
Huh? No, they're not short. They're not.
Your shorts are short too, mister. I have no
I think it's just sitting down. He's right.
They're not. I mean, it's just when you sit. I actually like these. Are actually some of my favorite shorts. I
have to get to work.
Huh?
I have to get to work.
Okay.
Bye.
We'll talk to
Bye,
you later.
Todd.
Bye.
But
yeah, but that's just my take on it.
Well, that's my thing. But again, you have to have an industry. Like, again, this is that, right? Or I got another. I mean, I think there's opportunities. I think the challenge for us becomes black people can't see us winning. Right? Like, they can't visualize. Like, the second you talk to anybody black about anything, the first thing they say is they think they gonna get in trouble. White motherfuckers be like, I'm gonna make it a law so I can't get in trouble. Right? Or I'm gonna do it. Right? Like, my premise is just like, so how Arroyo and them were doing those sweepstakes machines.
Yeah.
That to me is an entry point for black people. Like, we could take that industry, right? Take that industry, say, shit, the machines are already in our neighborhoods. We don't have a way to get to, they're blocking us out of the casinos, and we control the shit in our neighborhoods, right? All the Arabs are putting them in their stores, so instead of doing it, why don't we say, okay, and now this becomes the economic engine for us in our neighborhoods. And then we control a piece of that industry.
Right.
We put our own people in, but again, you got to get people that, I told you, when I went to Springfield, the black elected officials was literally tripping on the fact that I was going to make $70,000 a year. Like, I'm leaving a place where I'm making $250 to come try to help, to try to put, and it's like it went to, who does this nigga think he is? Like, sis.
I mentioned a name to you, and you didn't know her, but she comes from the speakers group, I'm almost sure. And, are we on?
Yeah.
Okay. And she makes like $200 and something thousand. And I swear to you, I'm sure that nobody would blink to find that out. They'd be like, that's natural.
First of all, they'd be like, that's all. On their side, come on, Todd.
No, I'm talking about black people that black elected officials be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they would be, but it's kind of like a black person.
God, no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's the whole thing. Like, black elected officials are poor themselves, so they don't understand moves of. You a white motherfucker can go ask a black elected official to walk the plank and they will do it, and it don't help them none.
Right. There's no you're gonna walk the plank and your family will live in riches forever. No,
you walk the plank and my family will live in riches forever.
Right. Yeah.
They control. They put us in a position. Yeah, it's like I'm going to tell you daily, every day, I get more frustrated as a black man in Chicago. Now, I want to be clear. This does not have to do, I don't want to compare the two things, but it is tough to watch craziness happen, and you know it could change. and to not be able to do anything about it. It's like I feel like I'm behind a glass wall, and I'm like, don't, you know how you watch me, don't open the door, don't go in the door, and it's like after a certain amount of time of people going in the door, and you like, damn, I told you don't go in the door. You got hit by the motherfucking stick when you got there. You keep going in the door, and people start snapping on me because I'm not, and the people getting hit, the black people walking in the door are getting us all hit. Right? They don't feel, it's like they get punched, they're immune to the punch, but it punches through them and it knocks all of us down.
Right.
So, again, they get to go be warm, fuzzy, and feel good because all the white organizations are going to snuggle them up and be like, oh, don't you listen to that crazy asshole. And those naysayers don't. No. Like, we always get our tribe. They told us about the fucking safety net. Think about the gravity that there were representatives that that have Roseland as a represent Roseland. Nobody could go to motherfucking JB and say we got to get something there.
Right.
Like nothing. And it's like, bro, it's getting harder and harder and harder for me on a daily basis to just accept the bullshit. And it's like we have settled into a place where we just say this is the way that it is. It's like that's why I open up the paper every day like, damn, this motherfucker's still alive. No, and I mean it, and I don't even mean to be that way. But it's like there is some level of, like right now, niggas are auditioning for him. So that he can grant the next, like really? Like really. Niggas are marshaling themselves to prove their loyalty to him.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Jay Hoffman is trying to rally some troops behind himself.
Right. But Jay Hoffman is trying to rally troops behind himself when everybody else, let me tell you what, everybody else is like, well, we're going to have a black speaker, except the niggas.
Yeah, right. I totally agree. We always seem to sell ourselves short.
Everybody, no. When you tell me somebody said Greg Harris with one fucking other gay vote
right,
is now in the catbird seat, and a nigga told you that?
Yeah.
Really? That to me says, am I even right for pushing black candidates? Like, give me your tangible outcomes.
Right.
Like, give me your tangible, and I mean, I think we celebrate motherfuckers looking nice and dressed up in suits and take it, like, I'm not tripping on Huddle House. I'm not. We are celebrating the building of another franchise business from somebody outside of Chicago with all these fucking black restaurants in trouble, and we didn't say we gonna make that fucking batter and berries on the south side. Like, we celebrating bringing some motherfuckers in from Georgia, and we got a model that works. Nobody said, hey, and quite frankly, most of the black people that do business, if you, like, fuck a government contract. It's not even worth trying to, like, I get so sick of people telling me you should try the government. Like, you tried the government, and it's like they gonna pick they 6 people, and then it's gonna wind up bleeding your ass. Right? And then it's like they feed you to a system. You good if you stay under 50,000. You good. You start fucking with something over 100,000, 150,000.
Oh yeah.
And you can't hire no black lobbyist because he can't get shit done for you.
Yeah, because nobody's talking to him.
Right. Like, I don't really know why I participate in Illinois politics, except for I'm a masochist. Like, no, I think if I had this same skill set and went to any other place, I would be valued. It's like the niggas be like, can he be quiet so we don't have to like, they would just rather not deal with this and just let the shit keep happening.
No, there's fear. I mean, I don't talk to a lot of them, but the ones I talk to they don't want. They believe they're powerless. That's for sure.
So then we become powerless.
Right, because
and then so now and here's what's getting ready to happen. They finna give the money from the cannabis to that community shit to their plugged community. We gonna give money to violence outreach. Ain't no business is gonna get the money to start getting prepared.
Right.
All our fucking money is gonna go to social service and outreach, and then guess what's gonna happen? 10 years from now, the niggas that got that money are gonna be going to jail. Why? What happens to all of our social service millionaires? They think that fucking money is theirs.
Yeah, and they're gonna spend it in the wrong way. That generally happens. We need a bank. If we had a bank, we could force them to deposit money in it, but you can't trust them. They always have so many strings attached to what you can do with things.
The more and more I feel like there's really not a place for me. Like,
I understand. It's like you said about once you find that you can't help anybody, what's the use to do anything?
Like,
that's why I'm near I keep on telling I'm on my last lap. My next move is, all right, I'm talking to everybody in the county. I need 3 years. Let's put this together.
And just think about that though.
You should get 1 year with you, 1 year with I don't care.
No, why the fuck though? Why? That's the shit I'm talking about. All these fucking nigga ass commissioners. Nobody can find you shit at the county. Nobody. That's my point. Like, no.
I should talk to my commissioner again.
No. Again. So here's what I'm saying. We passed a law in Springfield.
Hey, maybe I can go work for Fred Moody for his last year, or whatever the hell it is.
How about this?
Ed Moody.
How about this? They passed a bill in Springfield to give a lobbyist a pension for working 1 day as a substitute teacher.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, was that Dave?
Remember that? Okay, so now just let me point this out. And now Todd Stroger, state rep, alderman, county board president, Democratic Party stalwart, mayor of the city of Chicago, chairman, Cook County board president, how many black commissioners, how many black aldermen, how many black whoever's, city, county, state, and you telling me this nigga can't get 3 years to finish his pension? That's the shit I'm talking about. Now, the white kid, let me tell you, I was at the bar last night. I was at the bar last night after that thing, and we were ran into Latina who works for a state senator that I know that's pretty cool. She was telling me how she went from working in the senator's office to working at the Illinois Medical District because she had a job in the senator's office, but they knew she needed to make more money because she had a kid going to college, and so they wanted her to have health care, a steady salary, and to be able to have some cushion. Mm-hmm. She moved into that job. They moved her into that job. New executive director came, they moved her out, they moved her to CHA, right? Because they knew. Now, she still got the job with the senator where she still gets the thing, but they like, we want to make sure you get your pension, your full pension, your everything. They took care of the package because they understand that's the whole benefit of the game.
Right.
You're telling, she was a secretary. You go by the 8th Ward office, I'm telling you, I get disgusted when I go in there and I see all them pictures up and I be like, really? Like, really? Like, really? To me, and I say this with the utmost sincerity. To me, your situation is the utmost embarrassment to, one, the organization, but two, our lack of balls. Like, your family made every one of them motherfuckers over there possible. All of them. All of them. The fear of offending someone else made them leave you out in the cold. It took 24th Ward whack ass alpha. I'm just it took your fraternity. Now think about this. Think about how many families your dad put through college. Think about how many people made their living and their kids and their grandkids were able to be successful because of your father being a stalwart. Out of all of that, it's like somebody with the rank that they got and the supposed clout could have been like, yo, leave him alone. She could have got you something with Ron. She could have.
Yeah, she did mention it once.
Again, Todd, see how, this is my point though. This is the same thing. You are excusing it. I think it's inexcusable. I don't think it's, she mentioned it once. It's like, fuck, I can't let the legacy of our patriarch, of the shit that made, like, this is how I think. Like, we look fucked up if the son of our patriarch is not straight. So whether it is you go work for a Jewish bank, there should never be a point when you led our shit and we fought and you look like you ain't. No, it's not. And the fact that we don't even think like that is hard for me. Like, it's hard for me. That's why I give your boy such a hard time. It's like, cause you are forgiving and you cool, and it's like, I love your, you know, you just let shit roll off your back. Me, I'm like, that's a fight. Like, quite frankly, we could have tap danced on his fucking grave during all of this shit. We could, no, I'm serious. I could have every day been like, and on this day, and on this day, and this we don't do that. We didn't, because even at my angriest point, I still believe there's some allegiance to us. And
you know, Beavers told me we take care of each other, and that's when he said Shirley Coleman needs a job. So I hired Shirley Coleman.
That's my point, though. There has to be that's like the dude across the street. Anybody falls off, guess what they know? They know they can go across the street and he gonna find something for him to do. The fact that these motherfuckers walk around here talking about they the most powerful this and the most powerful that, and they couldn't help a former county board president. Like, can I just say something? There should have been a point when you should have been the supreme lobbyist at every fucking level. They didn't even have to pay you. All they had to do was say, talk to him. That's it. You are a fucking state legislator. That should grant you access. Be a white motherfucker and lose. You didn't lose. You graduated. And they probably got a say in your replacement, who then was loyal to them to the fucking point where he double-crossed your ass. Now, they can't tell one of them white motherfuckers hire Todd. They ain't even like Mike Noonan. He gave him a $15,000 a month parting gift.
They didn't even like him. Well, you know what he said? He said he did do a good job for Lisa.
No, that's not what he said.
That's what he said to me.
Oh, but that's not why he did it, because Lisa won. What he got rid of him for is because when the speaker got in trouble the last time by the feds, he told him he wanted him to sign his legal rights away to the speaker. Our defense defends you. You take what we say. And he was like, I wasn't doing that. Mm-hmm. And that's what made them, they was like, you ain't loyal. Because motherfucker said, I want you to put my fate in your hand. He like, no, I'm not doing that. Because he might throw me under the bus. That's why they fell out. Mm-hmm. Now, even with that, he gave him a $15,000 a month client on a walkout. Imagine, he gave him one. They wound up getting how many? Imagine what one $15,000 a month client does to a black person.
No, you ain't kidding. That's not a bad parting gift.
Todd, I am getting to a point like, I don't want to be mad. Like, I really want to move. That shit yesterday made me fucking mad. Like, mad. And it's like, listening to the white boys tell you, like, hey, yo. And then it made me flash back to being in that meeting with them white boys. And they was like, yo, man, we'll give you 2 points on the deal. And you should just be happy. And you ain't got to do shit. We already got this. So knowing that they had already figured out a way to game the system.
Yeah.
Nobody's calling to come back to Springfield. Forget the speaker. Nobody's saying let's fix. The governor told them they wasn't gonna fix the bill. Remember, Art tried to fix the bill.
Yeah, I remember the governor saying that. This is over.
Right? And I'll be punished for talking. Well, not punished because at this point they ain't giving me shit. But again, and the fucked up crazy part is, with the elected officials, motherfuckers act like I got something from government. I had one government contract. It was the worst thing ever that ever happened to me. And the reality is, beyond, like I said, Alderman Burnett, ain't really but there's really not been any benefit to me for helping people politically.
Right.
Like, all of the same people that I helped politically, whether it was giving them tickets, whether it was consulting their campaigns, whether it was raising money for them. Like, I've been some people's top fundraisers. Like, by far. I can't count on them to go to the bat for me.
Right.
Like, lawmakers have the ability to make laws. White people get that. They understand their power in that space. We are concerned about offending everybody but the motherfuckers that help us. Right? Like,
see, that's why I always say the base, which is the regular people, they don't understand the power that their legislator has, or they would help them more. Because, like you say,
they would understand.
Power and wealth is legislative.
They would understand the power of what their legislators could do if they saw tangible examples. I think we got a chicken and the egg debate. I think you're always going to take the position of the elected official, right? Because you've been there and you understand how to think. But if you've undereducated me civically, and now I don't see shit, right? Like, we knew with Beavers, we knew with Shaw, we knew with them, they was going, even Gus Savage, they could call him a racist, they could call him everything else, and it took them years, but they used black people to take him down. But he was, was it him, your dad, and, there was 3 of them. Harold Washington, Gus Savage, there was one more, it might have been Metcalf. But they all went to, Roosevelt University.
Oh, yeah.
And they went to Roosevelt University, and they all had different opinions, but they always said they would work together, right? And Gus Savage was down with Harold Washington, and they all, it was a good, when you read Fire on the Prairie, it breaks that down. But
I should read that. I don't think I've read that.
It's really good.
I'm pretty sure I've read that.
Oh, it's really good. Dempsey Travis's book is good too. Those, like Fire on the Prairie, that's like 2 days on the toilet. Dempsey Travis, I spent a whole week in Jamaica missing everything reading that damn book. But I guess, like, and it's funny because people think that, like, I'm frustrated every single day. I'm frustrated at the fact that
I get out of that.
I can't, right.
That's not good for health.
Well, like, and at the point in which I get out of that, then I'm just going to be going for broke. Right? Like, I was just thinking, like, yesterday, them dudes was willing to probably, Maze, we want, can you? No, I don't want it. Man, you want us to hire you? No, I want y'all to do fucking right. Todd, there's no black lobbyists. Think about this. These niggas are going to go back to Springfield with the same motherfuckers grinning in their face. And they ain't going to be mad. They ain't going to be shit. They're going to be like, hey, it's all good.
Yeah, that no black lobby stuff really does piss me off too.
You like, yeah. Well,
because I know there can be better.
And can I tell you something?
Once you've seen better, it's hard to watch.
But here's the thing. Like, if it was right, like, all this shit you talking about, you wouldn't even be tripping. because you would be so fucking stupid paid. Bro, you were the county board president. That should have netted you. There's no black lobbyists at the county. The county don't even register lobbyists.
They don't?
No. So now check this out.
What
The former county board president, Tony Preckwinkle, could have just blinked you and just said, man, John, think about this. John Kelly has more clout than you at Cook County.
John, that's because people loved, what's his
Jimmy D?
No. Houlihan. They loved Houlihan's dirty draws.
I like Houlihan too.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, he can do a jig and stuff after he gets drunk, but does that make him such a great character? I don't get it. I mean, I liked him. He was personable, but he wasn't for black folks. He was for progressive. He was always screwing any black person who had any power because he wanted it. Of course, that might be personal because he paid for an ad against me that was like, I should have sued. I wish I had. I had some money that time.
So I think we like remember when we said these niggas ain't doing nothing for COVID, then all of a sudden the Joint Black Caucus is now showing up with the governor, and the governor raising the Black Power fist, and they got 4 events, and this nigga's raising his fist talking about Black Power, George Floyd, and you fucking passed a law that cut us completely the fuck out economically.
Right.
And everybody's just like, it's okay. I don't.
Part of this I think is that's part of that. Well, you guys don't have any money. And we say, yeah, you're right.
But again, we don't have any money because you just here's a shit we could succeed in. Cannabis.
Right.
You wrote us out the shit.
Right. I mean, like I always say, there's some businesses that are
capital intensive.
Yeah. Well, no.
And skill intensive.
No, I was going to say are no-fail businesses.
This is a no-fail business.
Right. When the casinos came and Gail Francis talked about he was scared for his $50,000, I was like, get out the way then. Shoot. Ain't no way that was going to fail. And it didn't. Yeah.
And we got, again, nothing. I am tired of getting nothing. And you know what, man? I want to be able to just go sit under a tree, have a boat launch out back. Like, you know what I want to do? I want to be able to go away on the weekends like all these other motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, think about the lobbyists. I just think about, we would leave Springfield, the legislators would be like, "Woo, we out." They jump in their cars and drive back. The lobbyists would jump in their cars and drive to the airport because they was going on vacation. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy to me when I watch these lobbyists, like you watch them, like right now during this pandemic, they're living the life.
Right.
Right? Like trips, second, third homes, all of that shit. We ain't got the first level. And it's like all the motherfuckers we got ain't making nobody. They ain't making no path. It's like we accept bullshit symbolism, and right now the LGBT community about to take our lunch on that. Because when they start pushing, they ain't gonna be like, we can't do that. They gonna be like, break the fucking rule. I don't care what it is. Get it for our people.
No. I mean, as I look at it, I wasn't shocked when Barbara Flynn Curry became the majority leader. She's Irish.
We run from our people when it's time.
But I was shocked when Greg Harris became majority leader. As you said, with a caucus of 2.
Gay.
Right.
And gay, progressive, still white male though, right. Still prejudice. Like,
and our group had already been,
come on, man, Art should have got that fucking spot.
Either Art. I'll take either Art.
Which one?
Old Art was in line, and that's when Barbara Flynn Curry, then young Art, and then that's when Greg gets it.
Think about this. I think we should have known where we stood with the speaker. Like, even with y'all, even with the defense of the speaker, just the way he did Art Turner Sr. Like, Sheila Simon beat Art Turner Sr. to be the lieutenant governor.
Oh, that's when I knew your guy wasn't shit.
Who?
Pat Quinn.
That wasn't my guy. Pat Quinn wasn't shit no way. I told you the most racism I ever experienced in my entire fucking life was on the Pat Quinn campaign.
Oh, really?
I fucking hated them. Like at the end of the campaign, it took everything for me to finish that campaign. And then it's like the same white boys who were there on the campaign, all the motherfuckers getting rich now.
Yeah, isn't it always
like, look, check this out. The white boys who worked on the campaign, who all came to me because they had never worked campaign, every single one of them would be in my office for their advice, etc. You know, Pat Quinn made them motherfuckers like $600,000 each in the 3 months between him and that $25 million deal. Like, they was putting all this shit together.
That's why I took, damn it, what's my guy's name? Bald? God, he worked for me. Eric. That's why I took Eric from him. He was
Eric who?
What's Eric's last name? Shit. Dang, I can't be this old.
Okay.
But Eric, he went to Georgetown. Came from Georgetown, went straight to Pat Quinn because Pat Quinn went to Georgetown, and Eric's a progressive, and he was like working for him, and he becomes lieutenant governor, and he gives him some BS job for like $45,000. I'm like, man, you've been with this guy for 20 years. You do everything for him. Why isn't he paying you real money? So I brought him over to me. But that's, and from that, because he used to hate my dad, because he thought he was, he was eating that progressive, well, independent back then, soup. But then he was like, dang, black people work and get paid real money. Yeah, see, a lot of those.
The most racist experience I ever had was working on Pat Quinn's campaign, and I worked on some racist. I worked in the 11th Ward.
Eric Hudson. No, you never met Eric? Okay. Yeah, he was Pat Quinn's guy. He was his black guy. So he said he get paid $45,000, and whenever there was a black issue, Pat would call him in the office and say, "What should we do?"
No, I gave Pat Quinn the business the whole time. Like when he ran for a state attorney general, I was just like, man. I think I said it on air. I was like, the most racist experience I ever had was working with you white progressives. That white, and then I think they all thought because he dated a black girl that gave him a pass. And then when his white girlfriend from downstate,
oh, he had two girlfriends?
She became the patronage chief.
Oh.
And she hated black people, and she hated me especially. So she brought Will Burns in and put him on top of me. And Will is a climber. So Will, it's like, I'm on the, like, hey man. And then he came in China. I'm like, you ain't even from Chicago. Fuck out of my face. And like, we didn't talk for like 3 months on the campaign. Then one day he called me and was like, look man, I didn't do it. These people did. Look, all I give a fuck about is trying to put my name on this resume, move on to the next level, prove that I could do it. Pat Quinn came, this ain't shit, and me and Will became friends. Then when that whole Rauner thing came, it's like niggas pick their friends based on politics, and that's when it kind of changed. But he was at my wedding. Just think, your boy was at my wedding. He came to the wedding as actually, now that I look at it, I didn't realize what was happening at the time. I didn't realize how deep we were in with the Ken stuff. And so now looking back, I recognize that he was sharing information. He was being an information sharer, right? And then when he stepped to our other guy, like, man, so are you all three of you all working together on this? Or is it just Maze and Ken? And we was like, this nigga. Then he started fishing after this ComEd stuff started happening. Then he started making random phone calls to people about shit. And we was like, yeah, fishery. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to figure out my place right now. Like, I love doing radio. I don't necessarily know if I love doing mad as fuck radio. Right? Like, and it's like, I feel like if I do rainbows and lollipops, or do what I would ordinarily enjoy, I feel like it's not at the right time. Like, I'd like to be more in a Bill Maher space, right? Like, you know, that kind of, and some like Good Morning America-ish with the black issue. It like
I think there's room for. Dang, I meant to watch that Beltway because somebody said they were going to be on it.
Be on the Beltway.
Yeah, I think there's room for that in a black space.
Yeah, I mean that's what I want to do with the other show I'm talking about, right? And I think we can work that one. I just don't know how we get out of this. It's like, cause I feel like people don't understand the process, and because they don't understand the process, they can point you. Like, I always think of, like, we get put out on tech. They can technical us out. Like, yesterday, people was mad, right? And so now they mad at the owner, which ain't really the issue, right? But it's like the distraction, the bait and switch, and then by the time it's over, you in a swirl, and you like, fuck all this shit. Crazy, man. All right, Todd, we gave him a little extra. You got anything you want to tell him before we get out of here?
No, I gotta try to get the air conditioner in the window. I bought an air conditioner. It's huge.
You need to get central air, man.